Are you ready to get physical? It's time to talk some this and more. We're gonna talk about it all. DVD, CD, UHD, VHS, books, Blu-ray. Who knows, maybe you'll even see a laser disc today. Let's get physical. We wanna talk some physical media. Movies and TV, music and more. Come check out what we have in store. This is a media house stream. It's time for some physical media on FanZcene.
I know it was like really popular because it like won some Oscars and whatever, but
Jimmy does that.
It's got the Mighty Ducks guy. Got that guy.
No! Yes, but no! He's not the Mighty Ducks guy! It's Emilio Estevez! We're the Emilio! You can never have enough physical media.
Okay. Oh man, that's great. But hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene. It looks like it's just me and Tom tonight, but hopefully next weekend I'll be having more people in. I mean, the youngins, they keep skipping out on us. So yeah,
those kids.
Them old kids, they can't even keep up with us old ones.
Well,
Yeah.
you could barely keep up with me this week. I swear, I don't know. Maybe this is a record. I don't know. Somebody out there know for sure, like how many I've brought on or who the most have been brought on in a week. Because my God, I think I have a record for the most non-set. You know what I mean? Like not part of a set.
Yeah.
Tonight, I have 10 titles.
I honestly think that is the most you've ever brought. And I think the one time you did
8 or 9, I think was my record before this.
Yeah, I was thinking like 7 or 8 maybe.
And I think I had 9, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pile drive one more just before the show, just to make it an even 10. So we know that 10 is the record thus far. Yes. If I can get in more than 10, or you can get in more than 10, or somebody else can get in more than 10.
I've been just hoping to get in more than 3. I'm so tired of just only bringing on 3. It just feels like...
Well, and you have some excuses because you got kids and other duties and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we got hit with the snowstorm, and you would, like I was telling you, you would think that would allow me to watch movies being cooped into a snowstorm for days. No, you'd be wrong. You'd be very wrong about that.
No, you actually have kids who want to go play outside and crap. Now, like my
Tell me about it.
He wasn't into movies, but he liked video games, so that was, manageable with I could just watch movies and he'd play video games sometimes. Once in a while we cross over, but rarely. It was just the way it was. But with you, I can see that being a bigger problem.
Whether it's a sunny, cold, rain, whatever, by like 10 o'clock if they're home, they're like, can we go outside? Can we go outside? Can we go outside? Can we go outside? And it's not just
a bad thing necessarily.
No, it's not a bad thing. No. That's most kids these days do not like that, and they'll stay outside for hours and hours at a time. They'll play in the rain, the snow, whatever. It does not faze them as long as they can get outside. And hey, if that makes them happy, it makes them happy, right?
Well, and I don't think we have a ton of news this week, so I mean that'll go quickly.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there was much. There's a few rumors more than anything. A couple of Touchstone movies are coming out on 4K and digital, and people are running with it. The usual suspects that means they're coming out on 4K, which is probable.
Yeah.
But I believe some of the ones that are mentioned already have been Con Air and what else? I'm trying to remember now. I think there's 1 or 2 other ones.
Let me check real quick because I was sent by Vic Fontaine. He sent me a message about all the upcoming movies.
All right, well.
Let me see if I can find it, and then I'll say hi to the chat real quick.
Oh shit! I jumped over that again.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Let's see what we got.
I'm just so used to like the morning show. We got to keep things moving along. And
yeah. I get you. Vic Fontaine sent me this, and he compiled a list of 16 titles. So it looks like it's just 16 titles. It says True Grit with John Wayne's True Grit on 4K, Kung Fu Panda 2 on 4K, Kung Fu Panda.
I think some of these are just rumor, but yeah.
Yeah, some of these may be just rumors. So take them as some of them as rumors. Seabiscuit on 4K, Django Unchained, which I think that was already on 4K, wasn't it?
No, you're thinking of Inglourious Bastards.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay,
but that might be another one though. I can't remember how it was finished. That might have a similar issue.
Yes.
as Inglourious Bastard, so I'd have to check.
The Hateful Eight looks like it's rumored for a 4K.
No
Possibly.
surprise there.
Abigail.
Hopefully it's the extended cut, but it probably wouldn't.
That would be nice. Yes, finally put it out there instead of Netflix. It's, for Tarantino, who loves physical media, I can't believe he just allowed that on Netflix like that. Ugh.
Well, he got a deal, and that's how he got to finish it. So yeah.
And then Abigail, if you're into that, I don't care about that.
I heard about it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Airplane 2 on 4K, Naked Gun 2.5 on 4K, Naked Gun 33 1/3 on 4K, Fight Club on 4K. Go ahead.
To say, still waiting for Wayne's World 2.
Yeah, right. Armageddon.
That has a digital version.
That would be how long? Yeah, you usually after the digital one comes out, they start rolling them out, don't they?
That digital version came out the same exact time as the first one, and I think I might even have the second Airplane in 4K as well already, and have it for a while. I know I've had the first one for a while, but anyhow, you were about to say another.
No,
I think Armageddon was the other
Armageddon,
one. Right?
yes, Armageddon on 4K, Con Air, The Sandlot, and The Insider, and The Last of the Mohicans, all on 4K.
Okay, now The Sandlot I know has had a 4K for years before Disney even bought Fox, because I believe that last 4K or the last Blu-ray that came out had a 4K master for that for the anniversary.
Yeah, so. There you go. I think that's all. I haven't even seen Kino titles this week. Not much. And Arrow announced theirs a couple weeks ago.
Kino has the Snowman starring Andre. He's actually in it. His arm is in his house.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. And it was actually shot on film. So
yeah, that's one. Fassbender, right?
Yeah, the movie's supposedly not that great. I've never actually seen the whole thing.
I've never seen it, but I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I did see this. I mean, wasn't there one more, but it wasn't like it was nothing from Kino. It was,
But I have been doing a new thing as you're about to say hello to the audience. I've been doing, I once in a while I'd come up with like these little gimmicks that I'll do on my Twitter, and it's purely just for you guys to engage with me. I won't fucking lie. But it's fun, right? So like I've been doing this like zoomed in a shot of something that can kind of give away what a movie is if you really pay attention, but if you're not really paying attention, started out kind of easy. And then I'm like, okay, I got to make this a little harder. And then I'm like, I really got to make this harder. And then it like got to the point where like the one I had to give a second fucking, finally I had to give a second clue to, but as you pointed out, and this is a good way to for you guys out there, and especially in this audience, and this will segue nicely into you saying hello to everybody, for you guys to get an idea of what I'm going to be talking about every week on physical media if this continues to go as well as it has. So, yeah, so keep that in mind.
Yes, I did. I said, looks like somebody's watched a lot of movies this week.
I thought you said something like, you have a feeling that you'll know some of the movies that'll show up this week or something like that.
Yeah. But check it out. Follow Tom on Twitter, guys, and you'll see all that good stuff. And so hail to you, FKHC 2005. Hey, Random Brad, glad to have you with us. Hail Brian Barth, glad to see you there. Good evening, Ace Hanlon to you. Dragonzilla, hail to you. If you're talking about like favorite Wolfman like movie, my favorite Wolf. There you go. My favorite Wolfman movie is the actual 1940 whatever Wolfman. That's my favorite Wolfman movie. Yeah. Favorite Wolfman design? Monster Squad, Teen Wolf. Yeah. I like the Howling design.
I was gonna say my favorite werewolf movie is probably American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, that's one of the only few werewolf movies I will accept a werewolf on all fours, because I prefer him to be Wolfman, bipedal, walk. Sorry.
So you're one of those furries that's bitching about the new trailer, huh? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, actually, I did bitch about the new trailer.
Everybody did, including the furries. They're like, what the fuck?
He's not even a furry, man. I can say, hey.
I couldn't fuck him if I wanted to.
I prefer when a wolf man looks like a wolfman, like a wolf with a man who walks. I don't like when they're dog. I mean, like, come on, seriously.
But that whole conversation just reminds me, because I have this character that I've been working on since high school, actually. And I told Script Doctor a little bit about it, and we brought it up this morning too, because in one part of one of the stories, he's teaching his new, because he runs with a priest, this character does, because he goes after crypto creatures like vampires, werewolves, you name it, anything that falls in that category. And they're talking about werewolves and the difference between wolfmen and werewolves. And they get in the big debate about it. He's trying to explain. He's like, so what's the difference? He's like, well, one wears pants.
It's true.
And of course, the big difference being one kind of looks like a man.
Yeah.
Like the Teen Wolf / Wolfman typical look. The other one is a full-on bipedal type wolf. That used to be a man. So like that's the major difference. But just to make it funny, it's the pants.
Yeah, the pants. One wears pants. I like that. That's good. Howdy, Dope Effect. Glad to have you with us. Leighton Gay, says Philip Rose. Well,
I got a button for that.
There you go. What's up, Cowabunga Dude? Glad to have you with this. Rookie, useless as always.
Just so useless. By the way, we're in needs of a new rookie.
Yes.
So if you'd like to, we're taking applications now at Greg's email.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to find somebody. What's up, Corlin? Corlin, glad to have you with us. What is up, Deleted Scene, Steven? Glad to see you.
No need for a headshot unless you're a lady.
Yeah, maybe that's what we need. We need a woman who collects physical media on the show.
Honestly, that wouldn't be the worst idea in the world.
No, that's true. It's like I know a few ladies, but some of them are like VHS collectors. So
I don't care.
I'd have to look into that.
I mean, I'm a nerd. I'm not picky when it comes to women.
To be honest, I am surprised by the amount of women that watch my channel. To be honest,
you are probably lucky because we got like 2.
I got 20% of my audience is women.
Wow, that is a pretty good
percentage. I am surprised at that.
In actuality, I think ours is like 8 to 10%, depending.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if I'm on, it's like -8%, but like
mine fluctuates anywhere from like 13 to 20% a week. So I'm truly surprised.
That's because of me, I bet. Whatever I said that week.
Yes.
Like I get yelled at more so. Like I get yelled at for a lot of shit. Okay. Right. I don't even need to get into the laundry list, but the one that stands out the most and I find hilarious is that I am known as a woman hater. And I mean, I guess I can see it. It's like, I don't consider it a woman hater. I'm just a woman realist. Right. I am no longer 20, 30 something years old. I'm no longer bamboozled by the bullshit.
I guess I feel you there.
I just want the realism. You want to impress me as a woman? Just come at me as real. Right? Like that is more impressive as somebody at my age than somebody coming at me with the whole fucking 9 yards. Right? Because at that point, it's like, what are you hiding?
Right. I mean, at our age, seriously, it's time we're done playing games. Seriously. It's not like we're looking for a 20-year-old that's, but no, that honestly surprised me because with the stuff I cover and the stuff I talk about, and I bring up boobs a lot. I have a 13 to 20% women watching my channel weekly. It surprises me. But what's up, Holophil? Glad to have you with us. Hello, evening, Tyrell72. Live long and prosper. And let's see, make sure we got everybody. I think we might all be caught up.
I say we need to keep moving on here. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I got us distracted.
No, you're good. Anthony Draven, I think, is there, and Void King. There we go. We're all caught up. Welcome everybody and everybody at home watching. And Venabite, Trevor Maurer, thank you guys for being here. Tim Hayes, hell to you. And Ron Henriquez, glad to have you with us. I think we're all cut up now. I think we got everybody. All right. Thank you guys for hanging with us. Everybody at the house, out their houses. I appreciate it. So let's get to it. Tom, let's get with you if you're ready for your first pick of the night, because you got 10 titles.
I do indeed. And actually, this first one, we're going to start off with a bang because we actually have one that I played a role in. I might want to come on screen here. So, okay. I have the old original, and I have now in my hands the new Turbine version. I wish they had sent it to us for free. I don't know if they will yet. I don't know. I did actually get my hands on this. I paid for it. It wasn't cheap. But anyhow, so I knew about this a long time ago. This is what I was talking about for the longest fucking time that I could not mention. So the people we were talking to was Turbine. And yeah, so they put together this excellent. This is the outside. This was just the slip. And I even put the sticker on there. Like it just has, as you can see here, if I can get it close enough to read, I don't know. It actually says Midnight's Edge on the commentary. So we sent them a bunch of stuff and they ended up just using the commentary, which is fine, It is what it is. I can understand that. But here's the steelbook I got. I don't know if the steelbooks are all the same or if they're all different or what, but yeah, so there's like 4 different ones as far as I know. But I got the classic poster with this art. So yeah, you get the 4K disc, a standard Blu-ray, and a bonus disc full of bonus features. Previously, all it had on here was deleted scenes and a gag reel. And when we talked to Gary, he was really upset because they gave him like really very little, like they didn't really ask him for anything or anything like that, I guess is my understanding. So yeah, they used our commentary. And if you want to share the screen here, they were even classy enough to do this. I mean, this pops up before the commentary.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I mean, you've got me beat. I've just got a blurb on the back of a Blu-ray. You've got me beat. And Tyrell, it's Hellraiser Judgment is what Thomas said.
I'm sorry. It's Hellraiser Judgment. For all the blind folk out there and those just listening. But yeah, and as you're seeing here on the screen, if you can't see or just listening, it says commentary presented by Midnight's Edge. And of course, Gary says it in the commentary too. Plus, they have a new commentary with him. 2 40-minute documentaries, all the old deleted scenes and trailers and stuff. A few other goodies. So, I mean, he did his best to pile on here. And he wanted to put the director's cut on. But he only had it in standard def. And the studio wouldn't let him.
No, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So this is kind of what I was getting at when I said that the studio sometimes pulls that shit where they have like certain ones, and the reasoning they gave us had something to do with then if they have it, then that means they have to make it available to everybody everywhere or something like that ever licenses it out. So it was like some big thing they didn't want to deal with. And I don't know if that means they have to pay out extra for something like if there's actors and stuff that I don't know what the reasoning was behind that other than that, but I guess it was just and Gary said the same thing. It was like a nope, the studio wouldn't let him. So yeah. So I've seen it. It does exist. So
yeah. That sucks though that he can't have that done.
Yeah, he was kind of upset because that was one thing he wanted on there that he didn't. But it does have his other short film on there that he made. So yeah, so all that's on there. So he's got all that on the package. Some new interviews and behind the scenes stuff from the time. So it's really, really great. I hope so. I've reached out to Gary Andre and I think he's just been so busy doing something that usually is when he doesn't get a hold of us. As far as I know, there's nothing getting in the way of that other than that. So I did reach out to him after I watched this and told him how good it looks. So there you go. There's my assessment of it. I mean, it was shot as far as I know in 4K. The old Blu-ray, it is an upgrade over the old Blu-ray. Even the Blu-ray in here looks better than the old Blu-ray. I don't think they used AI on it or anything like that. I kind of felt like in some scenes, it almost felt like they added some grain to it, but I could be wrong. It's just, I think it's just a straight 4K because I think he even said they shot it in 5K or something like that. And then it down converted it or whatever. But that being said, it looks great. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the story or not. Have you got the chance to see it yet, Greg?
I have not seen Judgment, but I remember you telling me about it and how Gary was wanting to make the character, the one guy character that he plays into a movie or something.
Yeah, he'd like to, and I told him it'd be better off even if it was just a series, because that would be a really cool series, because this feels like a pilot episode for like a really cool series idea. Even if you take out Pinhead of the equation. But no, I mean, it's a really fun film. It's one of the better Hellraiser sequels. It's one of the better replacements for Doug Bradley as well, as far as the part goes. I mean, and Pinhead's not even in it all that much, really. He's only got like maybe 10 minutes total screen time, if that. Not even probably, because the movie's only 80 minutes long.
Right.
And that's another reason why I wish we had the director's cut. But no, it's a nice paced, quick paced film. The story is pretty simplistic, and actually it kind of shares some resemblance to Seven, which is another movie I got this week.
Oh, you want to go right into Seven right now?
Might as fucking well, because there's not a whole lot more I can say on.
I do want to see Hellraiser Judgment. I actually haven't seen.
So
past
go ahead and say
Bloodlines.
any more on that. But yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Bloodlines
past Bloodlines. Or is that the one where they go to space? Bloodlines.
I think so. There's a few of them after that are okay, but see, the Hellraiser films are basically the Die Hard of horror films.
Mm-hmm.
because they would just take other scripts and just throw Pinhead in them.
That's Pinhead.
That's it.
Yeah.
But that was the one before Judgment, and this one were the first ones that were actually written as Hellraiser movies for the first time in years. And they were written by Gary, but they basically took Revelations or whatever the fuck it was called away from Gary and rewrote it, and the director didn't listen to him. They didn't cast it the way they wanted to. They had that horrible guy playing Pinhead and all that shit.
Yeah, I remember that outrage when they.
And it really didn't help with the relationship with Doug Bradley, and Gary already had his issues with Doug. So like that just didn't help because he tried to get Doug into Judgment, but there was this big tug and pull over a few things, and you can find all about all that in our interviews. But yeah, so I'd suggest checking that out too as an also ran besides that, especially even if you get this, because this has a lot of cool stuff on I want to check out yet.
I want to get it. And a rookie did send us a $2 super chat saying, Psh, I can beat that 10 easily. Right, rookie. Right. He
watching Netflix movies.
Yeah, watching a Netflix movie where I just got this, but I'm not going to watch it right this now. I just wanted to show you I got it.
Or you've seen it once before, doesn't count either. Like I actually watched these within the vicinity of the week.
Yeah, and just for that rookie, I don't know what to give him. I'll just give him, you know what, this.
Somebody said, well, it's because kids won't watch black and white. And you know what I say? Fuck them. They can't watch black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. But go ahead and show 7 if you want.
So 7, yeah. So this is a movie I actually still have the old New Line Platinum series for. So this movie has been redone now 1, 2, 3 times. And there's a variance here that's kind of insane. So like they messed with the movie a little bit here for this version, but the main thing was the upgrade in the sound, which carried over to here. And there really wasn't much difference between these two at the end of the day, other than this is HD and it was scan. I think this was already from a 4K scan back in the day, because this looks really good actually. And then this one looked pretty good for the time on DVD, but I mean, it looks like a DVD now.
Right.
So that being said, now we have this. This is a controversial release, and this would be the same version that What's His Face just saw on IMAX.
Yeah, Ron.
So this is the Steelbook version I have here, and that, of course, is John Doe with his gun pointing down. And you get some scenes on the back and the credits. And on the inside, you get a few more pictures and scenes and such in the disc. It's only just a standard 4K and a digital download. But, okay, so this comes from an 8K scan.
Right.
But, and this is not even like a secret or anything like that, because Fincher was even talking about it, how he had used AI on this.
Jeez.
He used AI to lighten scenes up, sharpen scenes, and extend and fix shots that he didn't like.
Oh, God. That just already sounds horrible.
Okay, now I noticed it in the sharpening a bit throughout the film, and this is what made me look it up, because I'm starting to notice these little, because I'm like, there's no way, why would they even bother? Like, it didn't even dawn on me or cross my mind when I started watching it. Like, I didn't even think AI anything. I'm just watching the movie. It starts out just fine. Everything's fine. And then I just started noticing some what looked like artificial sharpening. So I'm like, that's strange. And because I know they did this with an 8K scan, because if you'll remember, The Fugitive is one of the, God, it looks fucking beautiful. And they did that in an 8K or 16K scan, if I can't remember right. But as far as I know, they didn't touch that with any AI. This, on the other hand, okay, so then there was a couple scenes he wanted to fix that didn't look the way he wanted them to look. And one of them was kind of understandable.
Right.
And that was the ending scene. But this is where shit started sticking out to me. And I started looking it up online. And it didn't take me long to find the interview where he talks about actually doing all the shit that I'm referring to. And he happily talks about how he did it. So in the final act of the film is where you really seem to notice this. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to pull these up. I forgot. Yeah. You ready?
Yeah. So you got, will it let me switch through these or not?
Yeah, that's why I was going to do that, but it wouldn't let me switch through them.
Yeah, it's not letting me switch through them. But as you can see here, the sky, at least on my TV, looked very yellow. Yeah, almost every single fucking shot. Now, other people have said it didn't look as yellow for them. Now, this shot didn't look as bad, but you can see it in the highlights still.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, taking a shot off my TV here.
What is it? Yeah, like I noticed it with the background there. It's like I don't remember Seven's background looking like that.
No, what happened was in the last shot, you can tell they shot it either at different times of the day or on 2 or 3 different days. Because in some shots, it's a nice blue, clear sky. Some shots, there's clouds. Some shots, it's like overcast.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is evened it out with this yellow filter or something. And I started noticing this line around them. And that's kind of where I noticed something was up. And then that's when I started looking it up. And like here, you can't really notice it, but the sky is blue, but like all the clouds are like yellow. Now I may need to recalibrate my stuff a little bit, but I have not really messed with it. I have it kind of set at a certain place where I like it so I can see certain things the way I could see them. But as you can see here, just throughout this whole fucking scene, there's this yellow.
Yeah, it's just weird.
And you can now here's where you can really see the outline around Brad Pitt. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, you could kind of like get like a glow about him almost, like he's like a Star Wars character or something. Now,
like I said, most people haven't seemed to notice this, but me, I guess. But again, I'll have to go back in and look. But as far as I know, I haven't noticed this on any other films. Like had that problem. So
that's crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't look right because I'd say I haven't seen 7 in a bit, but I don't remember it looking like that at all.
Otherwise the movie looks fine. Now the other thing that makes no sense to me is they just have the 5.1 mix on here. They didn't bring over the DTS-X 6.7.1 or whatever mix it was. They did. I don't know why. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And that's what it reminded me of Boba Fett, is it looked like edge enhancement. There was a bunch of scenes where I'm like, that just looks weird.
That's insane. So, say I was going to pick this up. I wasn't going to get the steelbook because I've been trying to save some money.
This is one where I would almost say the standard Blu-ray might be.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, should I get the 4K or should I go for the Blu-ray?
You do gain some resolution. I'm not going to say you don't. And it doesn't affect most of the film. That's the scene that it seems to affect the most. Because otherwise, the scene that he messed with the most is the scene just before that where they're riding in the car. And he didn't like how the focus worked with the cage, I guess, between Kevin Spacey and the camera when he's sitting in the back. I don't know if it was just too in focus or whatever it was. So like what he did was he separated the two with AI. And then he made the cage the way he wanted it. So, yeah, it's just that you barely notice. Like you wouldn't even notice that. But the other stuff stuck out to me, like the sharpening. He does lighten some scenes, which that's not as bad. Whatever. I mean, that you could even do almost, normally. And they do bring up the point that the film was done in a photochemical era. So to be able to do the balance they wanted to do at that time was not able. I get it. Yeah. So if you want to go back in and tweak it just a little bit slightly here and there with certain little color variances in the balance or whatever, I get it. But when you have shit like that comes up glaring at me, but maybe it's just a me thing because I feel like I'm the only one who said anything, and I even had some people come out and defend it when I brought it up in another place. So I don't know.
I don't know. It looked weird because I know that's from your.
I didn't notice any other anomalies like the weird faces or anything like that anywhere.
Yeah, I know those are pictures from your TV, from your phone or whatever, but when I was looking through them, it was like I don't remember 7 looking like that, and I didn't think that looked too appeasing to my eyes. I hate when they do that. Like you said, I get it. I understand that these directors and stuff, like maybe they were by the time era that they were in or whatever, they saw it differently in their heads than what was presented. But people have gotten used to a certain viewing of the movies, and maybe you want to go in and fix a few things. That's fine, but come on now. It's just.
I think he was trying to make it look like there was a storm coming, which metaphorically it also kind of works. I get it.
Yeah.
But again, I'll try to readjust my things and see if I have the problem, and I'll get back to you guys on it next week. Other than that, like I said, other than not carrying over the new soundtrack, I don't understand why, because again, they finished off some sounds and stuff they didn't get before in the final mix. So I don't even know if those got carried over or not. So I don't know if they just threw on the old original 5.1 mix or if they actually threw on the home video mix.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
And that's the other weird thing, because this movie, and maybe it's just, I think it got a 5.1 mix because it went to IMAX, because IMAX is only 5.1, which is weird.
Okay.
But they're only all set up for 5.1 surround sound. Because otherwise you would think this would have a Dolby Atmos surround sound mix.
You would think. See,
Yeah,
now
especially with all the rain and shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is a creepy ass movie. Sometimes I like the darkness of scenes, you know what I mean, in a movie like that.
I mean, the movie still works. I don't want to give it I wouldn't give it a horrible grade, but I'm kind of on the fence about it. It's like I'd give it like an 8 with an asterisk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, I would love to see the raw scan, but this is what Fincher wants to see, or wants it to be, I guess. And I mean, otherwise, all he did was stabilize some scenes that were shaky and stuff he didn't like before, okay, fine, whatever. The finishing off of Brad Pitt's shoulder and some of the background to do that one shot he wanted to be more zoomed out on, I guess, whatever. I didn't notice it. So whatever it was, I didn't notice it wherever it was. But the other stuff I did notice. Right. And those are little that word.
Yes.
Things that I always notice about that pop up to me when I'm noticing like heavy DNR or neat or AI manipulation. And again, this isn't as bad as others because it had a really good quality.
I'm gonna say it's got to be better than Cameron, right?
Oh God, yeah. Like, and that's why I don't think I noticed any of the standard anomalies, because it already had such good resolution to work from. It wasn't creating bullshit. But it does feel like it's been scrubbed down of some grain and stuff like that. I mean, it still does have some of the gritty, grainy feel to it, but it has been cleaned up quite a bit. But Lynch also made this excuse that it's been destroyed, like roughed up and all this stuff. It's like, oh, it was in really rough shape and da-da-da. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's just trying to come up with an excuse for why he wanted to fix a few things. Now this one, I'm curious about this because Fight Club. I know you have not seen Fight Club, but he did.
Oh, I've seen it. It's just been years.
You have? Oh, okay.
I just didn't like it when it first came out. I felt tricked by the ending.
Okay. I enjoyed the movie. I actually like it.
Or I felt it was cheap or whatever.
So that's rumored to be coming 4K. So like you said, when they usually get these directors to sit down to do, like they start coming out in batches, like, you know, because they tend to get them. So I'm curious.
That one's a Disney title. So we'll be curious to see, because
yeah, exactly.
I don't know who's been doing Disney scanning lately, but they've been getting better.
I wonder if, I mean, I know Sony's not supposed to be doing the scanning, but I
wonder too.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm curious about.
Especially going back to Cinderella and Snow White, because remember the physical media guy was saying something about, I'm like, dude, it was already scanned last year in 4K. And I went back and looked at it and I'm like, oh no, this had no manipulation done to it at all. This looks beautiful. Like, because I remembered, because I checked it then. I didn't watch the whole movie, but I checked it and it looks like film. You can see the grain, the natural grain.
So,
right?
I wonder if Sony maybe does have a little bit of a maybe they're not telling us for some reason. I don't know.
Or they're using the same facility because it looks like it. Because you can tell ones that I can usually kind of tell. Universal does theirs with Warner, I believe, and I can tell when Warner's done a scan usually. Right. I don't know who Paramount goes through, but Sony, yeah, they have a distinctive look to their scans as well.
Yep.
And I don't know who they use, but I'm pretty sure it's not Warner. and whatever they do is similar to whoever Arrow uses and stuff like that, because they look very similar. But Universal's kind of an anomaly and Paramount's kind of an anomaly. I know they do a lot of their mastering in-house at Paramount, and they're getting better in certain aspects, because even the two people that oversee that shit have their own YouTube channel and shit now. Right. I don't know if you've seen them.
No, I'm not. You're gonna have to send me links. That's right.
Yeah, they've talked about like recently doing White Christmas and stuff like that. So
yeah, because Paramount,
and the stuff they had to go through. We've
complained about Paramount in the past because some of the times, some of those movies they put out, like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, man, what they did to that, and some other movies. But then like recently, what was Major League was amazing. From Paramount.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, because I got a couple Paramount, or at least one Paramount title for sure.
So 7, final word on 7. Pick up, pass, or
It's a decent price. It's not overly priced, so I can't say don't get it, especially if you don't have it. But I don't think there's anything new as far as special features. I mean, and the standard Blu-ray, I think you can get for pretty cheap. I've seen it for like, I think I got it for $7. No pun intended, like years ago. So, I mean, that I think is already pretty well available and cheaply. So if you already have that or you've come across the Blu-ray for cheap, most people I think are going to be happy with the Blu-ray. But I mean, the 4K is not a horrible looking movie. It's just got a few anomalies, but it's not nearly as bad as James Cameron or anything like that.
Well, that's a good, I mean, at least that's something good to hear. And here's a good question. What causes 4K disc to freeze?
Okay. This is actually a common issue because there is a lot of information being crammed onto a 4K disc. So the more information, like, okay, let me, now this is not obviously to scale, to quote Doc, but like to read a CD or a DVD, a laser is like that big, right? In a microscopic form. But now to read like a DVD, it's a little bit like that because it's got a lot more information to read. To read a Blu-ray, it's like that because it's got even more information to read. To read a 4K, it's like really little because it's got a lot of information to read. So if there's just like one little speck of dust on there,
right,
it's going to cause the whole fucking thing to go freezing. And I have that a lot on brand new discs all the time. And it literally is usually just like a speck of dust or dirt, smudge, something like that on the disc. So that's usually just wipe it right off and it's fine.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I know some players have an issue once in a while. They just get locked up and usually just got to reboot them and you're fine. But yeah, that's the best case scenario is just take like a really soft cloth. You don't have to get it wet necessarily, just a quick wipe. If that doesn't work, then try to go a little bit more like with water, but never use anything corrosive or because all Blu-rays
like
have
alcohol or anything like that.
Exactly. Because all Blu-rays have a protective coating that really works with just wiping them off. So nothing really sticks to them generally. So
yeah. John, it could be your player. You know, if you clean it and it's still free,
maybe a layer change or something like that too.
Yeah,
it's getting hung up because there's like 3 layers on certain discs.
Yep. I did not know Ned Beatty was the first choice for John Doe. I don't know if he would have had the same. I don't know.
I could see him, but I mean, he would have been too obvious in the scene because Kevin was really good in the scene as the reporter because I couldn't tell who he was.
Right.
And I think Ned, I would have been able to tell who he was. And I've been like, well, that's funny. You got Ned playing a reporter.
Yeah.
Just not doing anything. Because that's the only reason he got away with it. Because now that I know that's Kevin Spacey, I can tell it's him. But the first time I saw the movie, I couldn't tell that was Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
He's doing a totally different voice and you can barely see his face. So
say what you will about Kevin Spacey. I know he's got a thing nowadays, but he was pretty freaking good in that movie.
This movie is great,
man.
Especially the end. Yeah. I mean, this has one of the best endings ever for a movie that really fucks with you.
Right, and you got to give it to Brad Pitt for saying that. Like, if they don't keep the ending with her head in the box, he was going to quit or whatever. You know that story.
What's in the box?
In the box. You got to hand it to it because, you know.
What the fuck's in the box?
That gets you because it's like you don't expect it. The first time you see it, spoilers. The first time you see it, you do not expect what's in that box to be what's in that box.
Don't do it.
And then it's in there and you're like, holy sh.
Don't come over here.
So, yeah.
What's in the box?
This is the box. Come on.
She begged for her life and for the life inside her. That's right. Oh, you didn't know.
Oh yeah, that's what makes it even worse. That was what makes it so
it's just the way he delivers it.
Yeah,
too. He's just a cold fucking bastard.
Oh man, it's so bad. It's so bad. Fucking asshole.
Justified homicide.
He deserved what he got in the end.
Yeah. Anyhow, do you want me to do another one, or are we gonna do one of yours?
I could do one of mine if you want to lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah, go for it. If not,
yeah, I'll do one of mine real quick. I got Animal House. Speaking of Universal,
Animal House.
My camera. There you go. Yeah, on 4K. It doesn't look
Let
bad.
me tell you about some friends I know.
It's not a bad looking 4K.
Yeah, it looks
from
pretty
Universal.
good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's better than American Graffiti. That's for sure.
God, yes. Well, that was an earlier 4K too on top of it.
Yeah. No, this is an all-time classic. I figured to lighten up a little bit after that deep go to dive in, even though we didn't like go for real darkness there. But yeah,
it's
no,
not gonna be an orgy, it's a toga party.
It's a toga party. I forgot the stuff with Karen Allen and Donald Sutherland. I forgot all about that. Shit.
That's the thing you forgot. Like, I always forget about the shit with the chick that's underage or whatever.
Like, yeah, it's her too. Because I'm watching them going like, because I'm saying it's like, I know they're about to share her tits, but isn't there something with this girl? There's something with this girl when I'm watching it.
She ain't got no tits.
Yeah. No, but they still like show them, and then later on,
it's because she's really 18. But
yeah, she's really. But then like. It makes you feel like a creeper afterwards.
It's not as bad. It's almost like, okay, it's fine because it's done almost for laughs in this version.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Fast Times at Ridgemont High because that motherfucker knows, right? Like that's like the thing. Like that one's and that's the worst thing about that one is that's based on reality. That's shit that actually happened.
Real
Animal
stuff.
House is loosely based on stories from when they were in college. So like, yeah. And I mean, that chick, she fucking completely fucking goes out of her way for it to happen too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not making excuses for the situation, but I am just saying it's played off more for laughs anyway. So
it's played off for laughs, and it's also played off sort of realistically, like because like you don't know, you don't really know, you know. So and plus he's a young guy too in the movie. But no, it's a great.
He's a freshman, I think.
Yeah, he's a freshman. He's a pledge. It's just like the cast in general, like that's like was a who's who of upcoming up and coming. I like you can point to everybody in that cast. Go, oh, I seen him in that movie. Oh, I seen him in that movie. Oh, this guy's in that movie. You know, yeah.
Well, there was people that were supposed to be in it that didn't get to be in it,
right? And speaking of which, I mean, Harold Ramis did write it. Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Harold Ramis would have done it. I don't know if they would have.
Dan Aykroyd was meant to play D-Day.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
It was actually based on him.
Mm-hmm. I see that. That reminds me.
Like riding the motorcycle up the stairs is shit that Dan Aykroyd used to do.
Yeah. I mean, like you could see that Dan Aykroyd with the mustache doing that, and you know, with the
he was pretty much Dan. That's Dan Aykroyd. Yes.
Yeah, you can tell. But no, it's a great movie. Tim Matheson is. You really like after watching Van Wilder not too long ago. You really see like I was watching Animal House. I was like, it's not. It made me think of Rookie too. It's like, man, so many movies copied the Animal House.
So who do you think Tim Matheson is supposed to be though?
And like as far as like the Saturday Night Live group people
or any of those people, yeah, because it's loosely more based on. It's kind of a mix. It's the National Lampoon Saturday Night Live
Chevy Chase as Tim Matheson.
I think so too, kind of, but also a little John Landis is in there, I think. And same thing with the guy that's with him is more John Landis, I was going to say.
I was going to say the guy with him reminded me of a lot more like a John Landis type sidekick.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I think, yeah, either that's supposed to be either Chevy Chase or, I don't know. It could be, it's hard to say, but I do know like Bluto was just like a character that was created for John Belushi.
I was gonna say that's just John Belushi straight up.
Yeah, basically. And then but yeah, I know for a fact D-Day was heavily based on Dan Aykroyd, and Dan Aykroyd was supposed to play the part.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what got. I think can't remember what he was shooting at the time that got in the way, but yeah.
Yeah, and I would kind of say like maybe Flounder and the guy we were just talking about with the one girl, that'd have to be like a mix of Harold Ramis, both them guys.
I was gonna say Harold Ramis, I think, is the one kid. Yeah,
the younger freshman kid, but I also saw a little bit of Harold Ramis and Flounder, just a little bit. I could see him playing either or.
That or he's Doug Kenny.
Yeah. I mean, but like you could see like. After watching it and then like, you know, when you know, and growing up with all these people, like you can see it once you start discussing the movie, like who's who and the story, because it's there's really no narrative to the movie at all. It's kind of just like skit till the end, you know, kind of like a Saturday Night Live, National Lampoon magazine hybrid mixed together, because it's just like skit after skit and everything. And But no, it's a fun classic movie, man. There's so many great performances in that movie. You just can't go wrong. It makes you smile.
Oh, and also we forgot about Ivan Reitman.
Oh yeah, Ivan Reitman's one of the producers.
Yeah, and he's one of the more main writers, because we were just talking about this morning about how Landis tried to steal credit from Reitman too on that.
Yeah, because it does say written by Harold Ramis, Douglas Kinney, and Chris Miller. It doesn't say Reitman at all.
So Reitman, I think, is actually the main guy. What's his face? The younger of the two.
Oh yeah, I know. I keep forgetting his name because I remember Flounder. I remember Bluto. Pinto. Was it Pinto? Pinto.
Yeah, Pinto. Why Pinto? Why not?
Yeah, why not? Your name. I've been thinking about this one long and hard. You will be Flounder. It's such a good movie. It's like when they first go to the one with the military. I can't think of his name, but you know what I'm talking about, like the big Delta house, and they like take them directly to where all the nerds and like the Indian guy, the guy in the wheelchair is blind. And they just take them directly there. It's like, here, you talk to these guys. We're going to go over here and talk to the people we really want.
A pledge pin.
And then when they with the horse, the damn horse, and he got blanks in it, right?
Fucking horse.
And he shoots the gun and boom, it does. And they run in there.
Well, that horse scene is kind of where the movie, like, if you're not with the movie at that scene, then you're just not going to be with this movie.
Yeah, if you can't handle it there,
like,
you know.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Holy, that's all they say. Holy shit. And they run out of the boat.
I love how they take it out too.
Yeah, they turn up the chainsaw or whatever.
Oh Lord.
I was in the mood to watch it because I was thinking about that stupid tweet I showed you and about Stupid Rookie, about how he's like, oh, I watched this, but like I've seen this in several other movies, so it's like old hat to me.
We're gonna start calling him Flounder.
Yeah, well, that's what we should call it, Flounder. That's a good name for him. Then I was like, I'm watching this because I had watched, you know, over the past few months we've watched Van Wilder, Revenge of the Nerds, American Pie, and like all those movies are credited for Animal House and Porky's, right? That's where they come from. And you can see like so many movies have copied Animal House. Like just like watching that I was like thinking of all these movies that have copied Animal House. And
Animal House was a fucking powerhouse at the box office. People forget how much money that movie made. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Tim Matheson recently revealed that Richard Pryor helped save the film. Universal showed it to him because they thought some of the jokes might be considered racist and told him, no, this is yeah, like when they get to the we're all going to die here. That's what they say when they walk in.
Oh God.
And then they leave their dates there, and that could have ended so badly the way they leave the women there at the bar.
The women were probably fine with it.
Yeah, and then when they show the girls are just walking back to the like no problem, you know. Yeah. But they like that's what it is. It's like that movie takes you right to the edge, but then it makes you laugh, and you're like, okay, you can't really be mad at that. I mean, it's funny.
Well, and it's also like American Graffiti. It's funny you brought that up because it is a piece of the same kind of time period. It was that's kind of the point of it. It's like the last of that era, because before that or after that is Vietnam, right? And everything changes.
Yeah.
Especially for the youth of America. And so, yeah, this was the last group to kind of grow up like that in that kind of era, that kind of America, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it does take place right in the like early '60s, right before, you know. But I mean, I was just in the mood to watch Animal House, and I hadn't watched it in a very long time, and it's just a good movie, right? I mean, yeah, there's not like quite a narrative to it, but it all ties it all together at the end. I mean, you have a good fun time.
They're on double secret probation. That's the plot.
That's it. It's like they're already on probation. Well, now they're on double secret probation. What's that mean? Then that chick is like, that one dude. I hate it. His name's Greg too, by the way. It's like they're always trying to give him a handy. And he's like, is it supposed to be soft? Yeah. Is it supposed to be soft?
The one that sleeps with that weird chick, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad. But no, yeah, I mean, it's a raunchy, college sex comedy. It defined it, like you said, it defined an era and really closed off a Americana that doesn't really exist anymore. You know, and whether like you was talking about, like I talked about, whether you like it or hate it, Van Wilder really was like the end of those movies altogether. You know, that may have been like the end of Americana at that time, and then Van Wilder was like the end of the college sex comedies in America. You know, they don't make them. I mean, yeah, American Pie was in that era, but like Van Wilder ended it, plain and simple.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, but there you go. That was my first pick of the night. If you want to go back to you now, we'll go back to you.
There's a few places I could go from there.
Whatever feels natural, man.
Well, boy, I don't know. Let's go. Well, since we're talking about America, let's talk quick about American movie, because I finally got to watch it on 4K, like you got it too. And I actually watched Coven and the whole shebang, commentary, I haven't watched Coven everything. Yet. No, it's actually not too bad. I mean, it's strange, but it is what it is. But no, like, I love this movie, and it's getting to the point where I can almost quote some of the scenes.
I won 20 on a scratcher, but I didn't tell anybody. Or 50 on a scratcher, and I didn't want to tell anybody.
What's good, man? What do you know? What do you get? Not much, man. I won $50 on a lottery ticket, but I don't want to tell the guys because then they'll just want to borrow money. Yes. I died once.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, tell that story, man.
One of my favorite
That's basically the commentary too. It's like the whole commentary is like they keep talking. He's like, yeah, that's a true story. And then he goes on about the story. He's like, is there any more stories you want to tell, man? Like drug stories? He even gets even deeper into the one where he died and shit. And, yeah.
It's good.
He's like, I actually went to go buy some weed, but then they said, do you want to buy some acid instead? Because they made it in their kitchen. So I almost died after taking some $4 acid. It starts out like there was this chick I knew, and I went with her to this house with this guy, and I was supposed to buy some weed. It's like
the guy. Oh, may he rest in peace, man.
I know, man, and I know guys like that. That's what I love about it. It's like, you know, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he's like, you know, you're like, okay, you're dead and you're in the fucking hospital, and you're like, oh, I was looking for the rest of the acid because I was gonna take it. You fucking just died. What the fuck, you dumbass?
But my mom had it.
Found it. She was so pissed. It's like, what the fuck? Then you got Mark on the other hand, you know.
Oh, one of my favorites is like, they're making a mockery of my words, and I got to go in there and show him how to do it. He's like, mother, he just starts yelling.
Basically does everything he tells the guy not to do.
It's
yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, he's a character. I love Mark too. He's a character. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, if you haven't checked this out yet, do so. Essentially it's for film lovers. We can't recommend it highly enough.
I mean, if you've ever thought about making a film or interested in film or just love watching movies, I would highly recommend American Movie. It's got something in there for everybody, and it's real.
Steven, I cannot believe you have not seen it.
Get on the board there, Steven. Get on the board one.
This movie is right up your alley. Mm-hmm. So yeah, for the few people who haven't heard us talk about this movie yet, what it's about is, okay, it's about a guy who's going to make this movie called Northwestern that he's started filming like 6-7 years before this movie is being filmed. This is being filmed in 1996, 1997. And what starts out as supposed to be finishing that film, he gets the bright idea to finish his other short film first, sell that, and make the money to make the movie he's going to make. And he still has yet to make Northwestern. Although I'm sure he's made his money back 10 times over. I don't know what's getting in the way of it now, but
he's just living off his fame from American movies.
And I think that I know part of it is, I can't remember if it's in here somewheres or there's another interview I seen him on where he was kind of talking about how what it really was is it wasn't so much that he got kind of scared, because what it was like, once you finish it, once you do it, it's done, right? And then it's no longer this thing where, and I think he talks about it in the movie too, where it's no longer this thing where you're just looking at it from kind of a, you know, an outside view where you just got a few scenes or whatever, and you still got the vision and the dream in your head. Once you finish it, like, and he got that really with COVID, it really scared him because of how, you know, that turned out. Even though the movie turned out okay, just the whole thing of doing it, he loved doing it and how it happened, but it just kind of, I think, scared him as far as like finishing that full feature length film.
Right. I mean, that's relatable too. I mean, because like you want to make something, and then when you finish it, you know, it's kind of scary after you finish it. And you know, what do you do? I can see how that would delay him from making Northwestern.
Yeah, and he also explains in the commentary what happened to COVID at the end there, what the fuck the whole, because it's not quite clear, because they make it sound like in the movie somebody just clipped out 2 frames and they were missing 2 frames. Oh no, what happened is somehow somewhere between the initial edit, because they use like dupe or whatever for the initial edit, and then they send that off to the company or whatever, and then they take the negative and send them the negative back to put together with the cuts that they had said. Well, somebody had cut 1 frame or 2 frames, I can't remember which it was, off of every fucking reel.
Jeez.
So he's like, everything would have been completely off sync. So we had to go in and find those fucking frames and splice them back in. And so you have like that many X amount of reels, and you had to go in and splice in all those fucking frames. And he's like, it was a fucking nightmare. And then his buddy come in and said, like, yeah, we barely finished it, like 2 or 3 hours or whatever it was, or 5 hours before the premiere, and we got the film back like 2 hours from the fucking from the developers before they showed it because you see when they show it in the theater there, the movie. So like they literally got it the last minute before like they almost thought they might have to cancel the show.
Oh man. That's crazy. I have to watch the commentary, and Breitbart, yes, you can watch Coven. It's on the 4K.
Yeah.
Which
it's not the best quality. It's in like 480p, but it's better quality than if you buy a VHS from him. I guess I've heard people talk about it. He still sells them.
You know, I was gonna say, you know, he ain't sold all them VHS tapes.
No, he still has them. He still sells them to this day when you see him places. I guess like if he's at a convention and stuff. I've heard people have bought them, and I guess they're in really piss poor quality. I think it is on YouTube though, in the similar quality that it is here.
Oh yeah.
I could be wrong, but
I would highly recommend this movie to anybody who's a film lover, who wants to make film, who's going to film school or want to go to film school or just make a film. Just watch this movie. It's just such a good movie, and like it's so real too, because like you really get to know these guys. Like you said, you know guys like this. I don't live in Wisconsin, but I know guys like that, right? Some of them are my own
basically
family.
Mark when I was younger. Like, you know, that's the problem with me.
Yeah. It's just like knowing everything. Like it give you warts and all, like him with the bright idea to switch over to the other movie, and then like getting to know about his kids and the woman that he was with and how she won't marry him and everything. And you know, the other guy is just like, Mike is just almost died, man. And I want to do some more acid.
Mike is a character. Yeah.
He's just like, he makes the movie, man. So highly recommend it. And like, if you're nostalgic for the 90s, man, you can see what the 90s was truly like. You know, because it's straight 90s.
Yes, so, very much, especially around here. Like, I mean, the clothes, the hair, the cars. Like, I can almost smell the fucking movie. Like,
I mean, like, you're watching it, like, this is not somebody pretending to be the 90s.
I almost know right where I was at the times of some of the things, because like the Super Bowl bits and shit, it's like I know where I was.
And like, even like the Looney Tunes T-shirt he's wearing, like everybody had that. Everybody had that T-shirt. It's just, man, it's a slice of life that just
it is
it's
yes.
Crazy. It's so good. It's one of the most rewatchable documentaries I've seen in a long time. You know?
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's kind of a slice of comfort food. I almost wish, and I think he did do a show, but I've never seen it. But I almost wish they had just done like a reality show where they just followed him around.
Right.
I mean, his friends and his life. It would have been an interesting show.
It'd be interesting to.
And somebody who watched a little bit of it with me once said it reminded them of Letterkenny. So.
I've never seen that show, but I've heard so many.
Neither have I, but I can understand now what that probably is like. And he's like, I can see why, especially considering it's Canadian.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin is a lot like Canada.
You're right there. You're Canada light.
Or as I call Canada, Minnesota.
There you go. Hey, it's about to be the next state of the United States.
State of Minnesota, the biggest state in the country. From coast to fucking coast. No, like we've talked about this movie quite a bit.
So. Yeah, and it's a good one, and it's quotable too. So,
well, speaking of quotable films, I finally got a chance to rewatch, and I have not seen this since I was way young, probably, and never seen all the multiple endings of Clue.
Oh, there you go.
And this is a Paramount released by Shout Shit Select. Now, the upside of this is they actually do have some special features on here that aren't on the old releases. 4K looks good. It's not one of the best scans in the world, but I don't know if it's just because it's down to how the film was shot. I think is what it was, more so because it's all indoorsy and on sets and kind of stuffy feeling anyway. I mean, unless you really want the special features, I don't know if you necessarily have to upgrade it per se. Because I think the old that's the other thing is I think it's an older 4K scan because I think the Blu-ray that's out now is from that same 4K scan.
Okay, so that's what I was curious because I haven't picked up. I do have the Blu-ray. I haven't picked up the 4K.
You can watch it with the multiple endings or no?
Yes, I can watch it with the multiple.
And you can watch a random ending?
Yes.
Then yeah, unless you want the special features, then yeah. I don't know how much of an upgrade the picture is.
I mean, I was curious about it because, like, to be honest with you, I've held off a lot of certain of the 4Ks from Shout, not only because of like, we knock them because they are a little bit bitchy, but like the prices are crazy, and it's like in some cases, I was like, do I want to get this movie, which I already have, or do I want to get another movie that I'm
kind of surprised Paramount didn't release this one by themselves.
Which is, especially
even though the movie flopped, I know this is a big seller for them. Because I know a lot of people, like, it didn't take no time. Like, of all the ones that I posted a picture from this last week, this one still gets people today still posting shit on it. So it's the most popular one thus far. And it took people no time to figure it. Like, I swear it was a matter of seconds before somebody had figured it out.
And I know I noticed after I typed it, I wasn't the only one. And
no, it was like you and somebody else had it like 2 or 3 right before you. So like I was keeping count. Like within the first hour, there was like
having
over
a clue.
Dozen. Yeah, yeah. If it wasn't saying just clue, it was like I need a clue or can I get a clue or whatever. Yeah.
So you probably get sick of those answers.
Well, after a while, I just can't keep liking them. After I just kind of
yeah.
Whatever. But like I like the first as many as I can. But that's the one that got the biggest response. So. Again, that was my point, is I can't believe Paramount just didn't turn around and release this themselves. And I have the Blu-ray somewhere, I swear. I just couldn't fucking locate it. Because I do remember comparing it when I first got it. But as you know, and some people know out there, I have been being a dickhole to Shout Factory, and I'll watch them later so it doesn't benefit in any way, shape, or form. So they can suck a dick. We won't get into all that if you don't know the lore behind that. But no, if I remember right, it just didn't look like the greatest of upgrades. And I think and that's why I think it is. I think this is an older scan.
Okay. So. I was curious about it because that's one I've been wanting to get for a while, and I've been debating about it because I actually really, really enjoy the movie Clue. And one of the reasons why it's one of the best-selling movies, do you know why? On home video?
Just because it's so quotable and funny, I guess. I don't know why.
No, because when it flopped in theaters, and just about every home had this movie because it was one of the first VHSs released. Well, it was affordable to people. It was like the cheapest VHS ever released.
Yeah, it was amongst the ones because I got Popeye and I can't remember the other one my folks got.
So that's like everybody has seen Clue after the theater because it was like the only VHS people could afford to actually buy, along with like you were saying Popeye and all them, because there was very few of them that were that. So like
I think it was Popeye, Saturday Night Fever, that, and Wrath of Khan, I think.
Possibly.
Because I think those were the first 4 releases. The Paramount did, because they were one of the first ones to do sell-through. So yeah, I think you're right.
So that's, but like, no, I've enjoyed it. So you hadn't seen that since you was a kid. Did you like it? Did you going back through it?
It didn't hold up as well as I remember, but yeah, there were some moments that I laughed, and I could, I remember like doing it with all three endings is a little tedious. Like if I ever do it again, I'll just either do a random one or the main one. Because otherwise, yeah, like I think that it just kind of it does drag in some spots.
Okay.
But it's just because I don't know.
Excuse me. No, I mean, I
do remember laughing quite a bit, but I watched this like late last week, and I can only remember some of the stuff that everybody's quoting in certain bits here and there.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, I can understand why people love it.
It's one of my favorites. I remember I've watched it so many times though. But have a good night, John, the Beagle Dad, and may your little dog rest in peace.
Tim Curry's, of course, excellent in it. And yeah, John, sorry to hear about your dog, man. That's sad, man.
But yeah, Tim Curry is great in the movie. I mean, as the butler. I mean, 1 + 1 + 2 + 2 + 1. It's great. I personally, if I'm going to be honest, which ending do I like? I do prefer the actual ending, the Agatha Christie ending, because it's essentially an Agatha Christie mystery.
And I like how it ends on the joke of Michael McKean going, I'm going home to have sex with my wife.
Because he's a fruit. They say he's a fruit in the movie.
Yeah, I'm gay, and I'm not embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
Or I'm homosexual. That's how he says
it. Yeah.
No, the cast is great. And I mean, I'm surprised they haven't gone and done this as a play yet. Because it works perfectly as a play.
It may be somewhere. Somebody's able to put it on somewhere, but not like,
I don't think it works as a musical. That's probably why.
No. Yeah,
because doing it as a musical would just slow it down even more. Because it already has so much going on, but yet it does have moments where it just feels like they're just sitting around doing nothing.
I mean, I get where you're coming from. It's like I said, it's at the end of the day, is it based on Clue the Game? Yes, but it's also Agatha Christie, plain and simple. That's what
Obviously.
It is. Yeah. So, and I do prefer the actual Agatha Christie, where they all, spoiler alert, they all did it except for Mr. Green.
I mean, if anything, that's probably the one thing the movie is kind of missing is the Poirot character, kind of sorts.
Well, Tim Curry sort of fills that role until you've like
sort of, yeah.
Then they're determined to make him the bad guy in one way or another. So
in a weird way, that's kind of one of my issues with the movie is how convoluted it gets near the ending, and depending on which ending you choose. So,
yeah.
And again, that might also be one of the reasons why I felt like the movie kept going and going, is because with the multiple endings, I think it does run like 2 hours and something altogether. It doesn't specify on the running time, but because it does it through branching.
Yeah.
But it's unnoticeable from what I could tell. Like it.
No, you don't know.
Like you just watching it.
Yeah. Because what they did, like when they originally released it, to keep the ending a secret or whatever, they different theaters got different endings. So like some people when they went in got that one ending, other ending, and then they got the real ending, and then it's like it,
Which from my understanding, they didn't advertise it that way, which is kind of a mistake.
Yeah, they should have advertised. You're right. And then when they released it on home video, it had it all. It was already all edited together as one. All three of them together at the end.
Did they have all three of them on the video? I thought it was just the one main ending.
No, if I remember correctly, I believe I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure all the VHS had all three.
I know the broadcast version only has the main ending on it.
Yeah, the broadcast version I remember had that, but I think the VHS. Let's see real quick.
Because they have this could be the ending, this could be the ending, and then the actual ending. And then when I know on television they show what is considered the actual ending or what really happened or however they say it.
It says right here, the VHS version of the 1985 film Clue contains a clever edit of all three alternate endings. Yeah, I thought. So that's
basically what they do here. Then is they give you the VHS edit because it even has like the little interstitial part where it says, the possible ending, and then it says this is the actual ending or whatever. But
yeah.
Otherwise, you get the choice of watching it randomly or with all three endings.
So I mean that's good. That's good that you can actually.
The only thing I think that sucks is they should have made it to where you could pick the ending you want.
Yeah.
See, because I would have just as soon watched with the main ending after this. I don't want a random ending.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that, but I think they should have added that as a choice. That's kind of one of my main gripes, I guess.
Yeah. Scott, no, Rook is not gone, but that wasn't a joke. We're going to have to take applications for a new Rook.
Yeah, we're getting to that point.
Yeah, we're getting to that point.
No offense, Rook.
Yeah, no offense, Rook. I'm sure he'll be joining us here and there, but you never know with the way he's been working lately. But yes, but I like the Clue, and I get your gripes. I mean, I get your gripes. I can't complain about it. Yes, the Blu-ray.
I didn't hate it though.
No. I didn't think you did. Yes, the actual Blu-ray, especially the one I think I have, is very hard to find, and the price was up until the Shout Factory release.
Oh well, if that's the case, then that kind of makes your decision right there.
Yeah.
See, because I don't know what I did with my Blu-ray. I swear I have it.
I got mine over there on the shelf, but I'd have to.
I think the re-release cover, so I don't know, but like
I got the re-release cover too
with the red lettering or whatever.
Yeah.
Red and white.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good movie. Good movie. It's got an interesting home video. That would be a good video. Maybe I should work on one day to do a home video history of Clue. I should probably work on that because it's got an interesting, because the movie, like you said, it did flop in theaters, and the only reason that and it's funny because like you talked about how everybody noticed it and everything is like most of the people that are fans of Clue are the kids that are we're adults now, but we got it as kids because, like I said, it was one of the cheapest VHSs you could buy, so everybody had a copy of Clue. So we watched Clue all the time when you're at home, and so like we are the people that grew up watching it, not the people that actually went to the theater to see it because they didn't like it.
So, if you look it up, I'm pretty sure there's an ad out there where those are the 4 movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
have to look it up. I have to find it. I'll look into that. Maybe I'll do a video.
I'm pretty sure it was Star Trek Wrath of Khan. If it's not Star Trek Wrath of Khan, then it was Raiders of the Lost Ark. And the other 3 were what we said: Clue, Popeye, and Saturday Night Fever.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure.
I'll have to look for a thing on that, and I'll send it.
And you're right, because Paramount was technically the first ones to do sell-through.
Mm-hmm.
And most people misquote saying that Top Gun was the first one. Well, technically, Top Gun was the first run film that was put out on sell-through. But because at that point, when those videos came out, if I remember right, like Popeye, Clue, I think was one of the newer ones of the 4, if I remember right. Because Popeye had already been a couple of years old. Saturday Night Fever was already like 5-6 years old. Wrath of Khan was a couple of years old. And if it wasn't Wrath of Khan, then it was the other one I said. So
yeah. And that also explains why so many people that rewatch Clue, because like you said, those were all a couple years old, so they had seen those, and those were successful. Nobody had really seen Clue, and it was the newest one, and it was of that
and
bunch.
I'm pretty sure it was 85 those came out too, because it would have been the year before Top Gun, and that was because that was the year we got a VCR in the house that we bought because we rented them before that.
Yeah, I think you are right. I think you are right
Because I got Popeye that Christmas.
Yep. Says August 20th, 1986.
Oh, maybe it was the Christmas after then. Because then Top Gun didn't come out till I think 87, if I remember right. I could be wrong. Unless Top Gun came out before those, but I could have swore those were the first. Unless that was the second bunch, and there's a first bunch I'm misremembering. And Clue was part of the second bunch, maybe.
Says Top Gun was released on August 7th, 1989. Is that? No, 1987. March 1987.
So it was the year after. Okay, so yeah then
March
maybe it was. So maybe it could have been. Because we got our VCR in 85, and I might have mixed those 2 Christmases up. Because it could have been later, 85, we got our VCR. We didn't have movies right away until my dad started bringing them. Because that was the other thing I got mixed up with, too, because I had a lot of videos that nobody else would have had it. Because I'm sure I told the story before, but real quick, my dad worked for a gas station, and they would get all the videos in the main headquarters first before they'd send them out to all the different places. And they would let the employees take them home first because they would get them like a week before they were supposed to street date. You know, so they had 10 copies of some of the bigger movies and shit. Like, so my dad would just grab one copy of everything. So, like, for the first few years, I didn't know anything about, like, first time I ever rented a movie from someplace and I got it in a plastic cover, I was like, what the fuck is this? Because all the time he would bring home movies. They were always in the plastic still in the case. So, like, when I saw Ghostbusters, Gremlins, all these movies, I got them with the case. Right. And I opened them. Like, brand new. Like, that was the way I saw them. And I also saw them like a week or two before everybody else got to. So it just didn't dawn on me until later in life, really, until I started renting movies. And then also they would also, it was kind of cool because also they would have, like, if a movie would have anything wrong with it, especially considering how expensive VCRs were back then, they would pull them. So even if it had just like a little bit of a drag in the beginning or got ate up once or something like that, and it had like a part that was a little fucked up, they would let the employees take them home. So I had like National Lampoon's Vacation, Death Wish 2, all kinds of shit when I was a kid.
Lucky, man.
And all that was wrong was they had just like one part that would go like that for a second. And most of the time it was usually through the opening trailers and shit. So like it was never affecting the movie. Very rarely did it affect the movie.
I'm jealous that I had to buy and scrape for all my movies.
Well, that was just for a couple years. And then when we moved, that place closed. My dad got a different job through a bigger company, and that things completely changed. And it wasn't until I got back into home video again when I actually was able to, but otherwise, the only way I got a deal to get movies later when I was a teenager, and I don't know if I've ever told you this though, but I worked a deal out with the local grocery store that had videos. And what the lady would do is she would basically sell me the used copy for what it would cost them to replace it for a new copy, or she'd give me the markup on a new version. She'd let me have the choice. Right. So I knew what the main one would cost. And I realized, so like, I would pay either that or whatever. And sometimes I would generally just go with the used copy, especially if I knew they were lightly used, because for those who out there probably know this as home video users, they would use better, heavier stock for the VHS rentals than they would for the sell-throughs. And of course, the one she was ordering would be the new sell-through version or whatever the newest version was, and she'd just replace it on the shelf, and I would get the old one where I would usually get the better quality one anyway, or the first release or whatever, unless I wanted a specific release.
Lucky, you just got lucky, man. I did get a few deals myself, especially with the mom and pop video stores. Especially this old lady, I made good friends with her. Didn't basically work there, but I worked there. You know what I mean? And she'd give me like tons of free movies and posters and all that good stuff. Yeah. So that was a good time, man. The
coolest deal was like, I don't know what you guys would have called them there, but people refer to them now as like Ollie's and places like that. But they were called liquidator stores where I'm from.
Yeah.
Basically, overstock stores, someplace call them. But basically they buy stuff that goes out of, that they're liquidating, putting out of stock or whatever, old shit. They'd buy like really cheap, toys and clothes and furniture and electronics, stuff that's going out for the year. They'd bring in new stuff and they get it real cheap. Yep. Well, so they had a deal for a while where this guy who would do VHSs would bring them in, and they had tons of them. So you could get like, they were like $5 a piece, but like the more you would buy, the cheaper they would get.
Yeah, I missed that too.
My mom was a sucker for sales. So and I knew how to manipulate that shit. So I'd be like, Mom, when I would go in there and be like, okay, well, I get 2 or 3 videos, be like, Mom, but if I get 5,
it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Oh, I miss those days. I would
find some good shit. And the cool ones sometimes were where we would run out of ones where I knew, and it would like, okay, I have to fill out. And that's where, she'd be like, no, if you're going to do it, you have to get the 5. So you get them for $2.50 a piece instead of $5 a piece or whatever. So I'd just grab something I'd never seen before, and it'd be something I'd discover. Right. So there's a few movies where I just discovered that way back in the day.
Oh, man, I really truly do miss that. Yes. I remember doing stuff like that as well, especially with those, stores like that. It used to be Big Lots and also Ollie's, and then there was I can't remember
stuff like that basically. But they were used rental copies that they.
There was one I cannot remember the name of it, but it was something like that, and it was, man, we used to go there all the time. I can't remember the name of it, But yeah, we would do stuff like that too all the time.
But some of them would be fairly newer ones too, because I remember getting like Problem Child and stuff like that when they were only a couple of years old and stuff like that, or even a year or two old.
Yeah, but this one, the Double Fed here, I did not know this, and I would like to see that if it ever shows up. It says Clue had a fourth ending they shot but never released that was much darker. That I did not know. That'd be interesting to see what that's like.
Did you want to go now? Or
yeah, I can go now. This one may be a quick conversation. We have talked about this multiple times as well, but this is one the family actually wanted to watch. The family, so Avengers, the first Avengers.
Nice.
Yeah, I got my camera's trying to get it to focus. Anyways, it's
I think that one was actually shot on film, I think.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good on 4K. So, you know.
I have the 3D version of that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Not the 4K.
Good old Best Buy exclusives, which no longer exist. But the family wanted to watch this. Yeah, fuck your Best Buy. Drop it in chat. No, they actually wanted to watch Avengers. It's been a long time since they had seen the Avengers. I think we talked about the Avengers not too long ago on here, I want to say. Maybe a year ago.
Somehow in passing, I think at some point we did.
Yeah.
Or somebody brought it on.
Yeah. And this is my first steelbook, because I had the whole set that I won from, well, I didn't win. Best Buy just gave it to me signed, the whole 4K steelbook.
Oh, that's
set.
right. I remember you brought that on before, yeah.
This one actually looks better than the one that's in that set, though. This steelbook. I like the steelbook.
You're like my uncle. You win all those contests all the time.
I know. I wish I need to win a little more. I haven't won some in a while.
Nothing wrong with it. I'm not gonna knock you for it.
It's fun.
But he was one that he was always winning those contests and shit.
Oh man, talk about winning. I know this has nothing to do with the movies or anything, but my boy just turned 9. Right, it was his birthday Friday, and they got him lottery tickets. Grandparents.
Oh yeah,
got him lottery tickets. He won like $5. Then he took it, got another one, and won $50. Then he got another one and won $20.
But he didn't want to tell you because then he'd borrow
money.
No,
he told me, but it's his. I don't take it.
Let me finish the joke.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Then you'd want to borrow money.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I did that. I could have segued.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, he won money. He won a pretty good penny of money, and I'm like, the little fucker always wins. I never win.
My brother would do that too on those lottery tickets all the time. Yeah. Not a girlfriend who was she won $30,000 once on one.
Dang,
it's crazy. Yeah, that was fucked up. But anyhow, that's a whole big other story.
Yeah.
But anyhow, what else we got going on here?
Yeah, that just got the. Can you still hear me? Okay, am I coming in?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's like weird, like you're talking and you're saying you're muted. So like, I don't know if I'm having troubles on my end. Yeah, it's weird.
I haven't muted in a bit.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why this is showing it that way. But no, Avengers, if you've seen it, you've seen it. You know what it is. Marvel's Phase 1, Avengers, Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Hawkeye. It just makes.
Oh, you just cut out. Something was going on his end. There we go. Okay, that explains that one. So the Avengers, he likes it. You like it. We all like it. The Avengers.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew there was something wrong because
yeah.
I was thinking, okay, he's muted, but he's talking. What's going on here? I don't know what it was, but the internet never cut out. It's still going. So
you bopped out for a minute there.
Yeah, that was weird. But no,
for a second.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about the Avengers or not, but it's just their family wanted to watch it. They hadn't seen it in a while, and it does make it a good Marvel movie.
I think I already said my piece about it when you brought it on before, or whenever we talked about it last. I like it all right, but it's not one of the best of the films. I think it's kind of overrated.
Okay,
it's all right. I mean, it's fine. It's just
no.
I'm one of those who actually thought Age of Ultron was better, and I know people are like, "What?"
I don't think Age of Ultron sucks. I like Age of Ultron.
It was the first Avengers was fine for what it is. It works.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, but it makes, like I said, it makes you miss because even seeing the Paramount logo in the beginning, even though I think Disney had bought it at that point in time, but it had not fully taken control of it. But I'm watching them, like it feels like they just like scrapped everything. Like Avengers Tower was like you get Avengers Tower, and then like a movie later, it's gone. It's gone. It's just a little white campus building. Like you got Avengers Tower, and you just get rid of it for that, and like so many other things. Like you just like, I don't know, but yeah, it's Avengers. It's with the culmination of Phase 1, and it's a good one. But yeah, and there you guys have it. I knew that was going to be a kind of quick one because we've talked. I want to say about a year ago we all talked about it, not too long ago. But yeah. So yeah, you suck it. You suck it. But yeah, we can move on to you if you want again and do 2 more, and then I got 1 more, and then you can do your last 2. I think that's how it works because you've done 4.
Yeah.
No, you got more than 10. So.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 8 left. Oh fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess 8. How? Wait, I had more than 10. Wait. I miscounted evidently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 8 is what I've got because I've already done 5 titles.
You got 8 left, and you done. That's more than 10.
That's more than 10. Yeah, that's 11.
Tom, you're breaking.
So I was
your
right
record.
the first time when I told you 10. All right, I'm gonna try and knock a few out here.
But we do got a $2 super chat real quick
Sure,
from
let's
Bronson.
do that.
It says, "Who do you prefer, Adam Sandler or Will Ferrell?" Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler, sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably dislike more Adam Sandler films, but as a person, I dislike Will Ferrell more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like as a person, I prefer Adam Sandler as a person, and Will Ferrell maybe has made a couple few better movies than Sandler, but I like Sandler better. I'm sorry, I just do. Yeah. So thank you, Bronson, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see.
Don't do this, Ben. Please don't go this way.
I just had sex. I'm about to eat nachos! It's the greatest moment of my life!
I just like her face at the end. She's like, really? What's up, Snowed Up? Good.
Speaking of Paramount and all that kind of business, I guess this is about the only segue I got here for this one. Yeah. I kind of wish I hadn't bought this one.
Oh, boy.
I got it because it was a limited steelbook and it was selling out. And I think it did sell out. So I guess maybe I could sell it in a while for a little bit of money. But I watched ADHD the movie.
Oh, Transformers 1. Now, I've heard mixed things about this. Go ahead, because you don't like it. Because I've heard some people say, hey, it's actually better than I thought.
I can see why they say that. It is a movie. Things happen. There's a plot. And there's sort of a story that happens in it. But my God. And look, up front, I'm not a big Transformers fan. I've never really been one. Even as a kid, I was like, they were like one of the least of my, and I get it. They just weren't my thing. And this, God. Like I messaged Andre while I'm watching it. I'm like, what the fuck movie did y'all watch? Like, this is like watching ADHD, the movie. Like, there's so much shit just constantly like. That's what it felt like watching this movie. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. And I thought Mutant Mayhem was bad. This is actually better than that. But the turn that fucking Megatron has is so fucking stupid. And the fucking, and the way they cram in the little sayings like you got the touch and it's more than meets the eye and all that kind of shit is so dumb.
Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Exactly. You got Scarlett Johansson's character who's the best of the best. It's just, it's so predictable on top of being so fucking manic. I mean, I guess the part that I dislike the most about it is like, look, kids are not stupid. And this movie preaches down to kids like they're stupid.
Mm.
And I have very little knowledge of the actual lore or the history of Transformers, and I know this deviates in some ways, but I can say this. I saw Garfield, and I think I talked about it once on here a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, it was better than I thought it was going to be. And even though that deviates from the lore quite a bit, as somebody who knows and is a big fan about it, a big fan of the Garfield lore and all that stuff, I actually enjoyed the film, and I didn't feel like it preached down to kids.
Right.
This, on the other hand, feels like it's treating its audience as fucking idiots. And look, I mean, if you're a Transformers fan and you like this, I am not calling you an idiot. Then it's made for you, and that's cool, and I'm glad you got something out of it. But after I was done watching it, it made my fucking brain hurt, and I was tired. And it was not even that extraneous on the brain like I had to think. It was just so much blah, 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 blah. I almost got to do the visual. Blah, 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 blah.
Sam's curious
and
about
Key or whatever the fuck his name is, if he ever does another fucking movie again, oh my fucking God.
I was curious about the movie because I've heard so many people say,
because he does the voice of Bumblebee, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, the Key from Key and Peele, the Key guy?
Yes.
Oh God. That sounds bad.
And the joke is basically you can't wait for Bumblebee to be shut the fuck up.
Oh man. What's funny about this is because I have not seen Transformers 1, but I've heard people talk about it. I was actually just thinking about watching the 86 movie and the first of the Transformers movies because speaking of Michael Bay, because I've seen the question here, what's worse, this or Michael Bay's Transformer?
Technically, this is all leading to the same shit. So
is it like a prequel to the Bay?
It doesn't
universe?
really say it, but I think that's kind of the idea.
Mm-hmm.
If not, this was setting up like supposedly a trilogy of animated films that I don't know if are going to happen because it didn't do that well.
Yeah,
the box
like
office.
it flopped bad or something.
Well, I think it cost more than Mutant Mayhem, and I think it made less.
Mm. Yeah, but I don't hate the first Michael Bay Transformers. I don't. I think
I like the first and the third one, and that's about
Mm-hmm.
it. And parts of the first one with Marky Mark, and that's about it.
Oh,
Bumblebee was good, but I don't even count Bumblebee as one of the other movies, even though it's supposed to be. But yeah,
I thought Bumblebee was all right, but I absolutely cannot stand John Cena. Anything I see him in, it's just I can't stand it. The only thing I ever liked him in was Suicide Squad, honestly, and I was so happy they killed him at the end, and then they fucking brought him back as the TV. That ruined it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him either, so I can understand that.
Yeah, no, but
I just like Mark Wahlberg, but like the whole stupid like. We're in love and the Romeo and Juliet law shit was so stupid.
Yeah, that was dumb.
And then the last Transformer movie before this one, the live action last one, I fucking just wanted to.
I've never seen.
I was
it.
watching in my own house and I wanted to walk out. I just wanted to leave. I'm just like, fuck this. Let it play. Finish up. I'm leaving. Just I'll be back when it's over.
I've only seen the first three and then the first one with Mark Wahlberg. After that, I have not seen any of them after that.
Well, and to me, and we've talked about this, they're just like the Mission Impossible movies to me, not in the same level as far as quality, but I mean, you have the same problem. And that is every single fucking one of these movies is the same thing as the last one. This is different, but it has all the same cliches of every single, we were friends once and now we're fucking enemies. And you didn't even really need to go to the extreme and have the weird flips they did here. And they have the guy, the Megatron character going like nuts and shit. And it's like, why? There's no real reason for it. When really it just needs to boil down to the disagreement him and Optimus Prime have, which is basically the same thing as Professor X and Magneto, really.
That's what I was getting from the trailers or whatever.
Yeah, and that's all they had to do, but they went to a little bit more of an extreme here. And it's so predictable. Like, just so predictable. Like, from the first 5 minutes, I knew where the movie was going.
You're the first, honestly, you're the first person I've actually heard put it down. So that's intriguing. To be honest with you, I don't think I'd like it. From what I've seen and what I know of it, I don't think I would.
Look, I'm not going to knock people who like it. Again, I'm not the biggest Transformer fan, so I have zero real reference to really go by as far as like, is this as much like the series or not? Like my vague memory of the original series, other than when they killed them all in the fucking movie, which I thought, well, that's pretty badass. Wow. Like, and they actually killed them for a while. But it was just, I remember Bumblebee's character being like, I do remember like his characterization compared to the movie being much different. Because I, for some reason, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, it sticks out in my head that I always remember Bumblebee hanging out with the kids and being pissed because he was younger and smaller, and the other Transformers would never let him fucking be a part of whatever the fuck it was they were doing. And that's the thing that always stuck out to me from the show. So that's my memory of watching Transformers as a kid.
You're right. I was a fan of Transformers, so I was a fan of them. I love the fact that you said oh, that was pretty ballsy. They killed them all, like people crying and locking themselves in the room after Optimus Prime died. I remember hearing about that.
I remember some of my friends getting pretty upset about it.
Yeah. But what we didn't know then was like the people that make it is like, we just was wanting to make new toys, so he's getting rid of the old, getting new toys. It's just
this is why Masters of the Universe and Ninja Turtles is better. You just keep making them.
But no, I enjoyed this series. I enjoyed the original Transformers. I actually have that on a DVD. I don't think it's on Blu-ray, but I have it on DVD. I have the movie on the Steelbook movie that they Shout Factory put out, and I do enjoy. I actually, for better or worse, I like the first Bay Transformers, and the Revenge of the Fallen is what it is, and the last one with what's his name there isn't too bad. Because I mean, you get Spock as the voice is one of the bad guys, so
that's the one I don't mind. Dark of the Moon, I think.
Dark of the Moon.
Right,
it's
but it's still the same as all the rest.
Yeah, they're all the same.
But you got Spock, so
yeah. They're all the same movie. I mean, I'm not saying like they're art pieces here. Trust me, they're nothing like the original cartoons, and I completely get.
I actually have the cartoons in the movie. I just never watched them.
I was honestly,
one of these days.
I mean, they may show up. The old movie, and the first movie may show up here someday soon, because I was literally just thinking about watching them. I was like, I want to watch the first Bay Formers.
I was trying to find out where the movie comes in the series, so I know where to stop and then jump.
If I remember correctly, the movie ends Gen 1, the Gen 1 series.
And I have no idea when that happened. I watched the entire series and then watched the movie, and that's it.
I think shit, I'm trying to.
I thought it took place somewhere in between, because I got the whole Shout Factory set, but yeah,
it goes in. Yeah, like I think the first series, literally the first series, it goes up into the movie, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought it was in between there somewhere, and they continued.
I'd have to remember, but
I can't recall. So yeah,
the movie itself takes place in the future from the TV series. So that helps. Yeah, you could literally watch the cartoon movie and not, as long as
I thought it took place somewhere in between, because I thought it came out in between seasons, but I guess I was wrong.
It might do that, but I know it takes place in the future, and one of the kids is full grown. He's full grown, and he has a kid now. And so
because for instance, the South Park movie comes in the middle of the third season, I believe.
Yeah,
like right near the tail end. So there's 3 or 4 episodes that take place right after the film, I think, in that season, and then the 4th season really acknowledges a lot of the ship.
Yeah,
if I remember right. But that's my point. Is I was trying to remember where it comes in.
Yeah, I know it's the end of Gen 1.
So it's more or less the He-Man movie.
Yeah, well,
where they transitioned from the series over to She-Ra.
Yeah, because what they were doing is they killed off almost all of the original
I remember
Transformers, and then because they were going to make the show continued with the new Transformers introduced in the movie, with Rodimus Prime taking over for Optimus Prime.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out, is when does that happen, or does that not happen in the
series? I think it's in
between
Gen 1 and Gen 2.
So there's another series afterwards.
Yeah, there's another series where they continue. It's basically like a continuation, whatever, of the original Transformers, but nobody liked them. Yeah, and then that is true. Leonard Nimoy does play the voice of Galvatron, which is what's his name? Like that.
I watched this movie with Tom. We held hands. It was quite the experience. The problem I had is there was not a sex scene between me and Megatron. And let me tell you, in college, we fucked every day.
There you go. The movie happens between seasons 2 and 3 of the cartoon. There you go. I know it's somewhere along there.
Trust me, he was my love gun.
What is the bad guy's name? What is the bad guy's name?
In the movie? It's that planet-sized fucking thing.
No,
oh, you mean the new bad guy? I have no idea.
No. It's Optimus Prime and the Decepticon leader. What is his name?
Megatron, if you're talking about the main guy.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, Megatron. Yeah.
I just said his name. That's why I was like,
I'm
who
sorry,
are you talking about?
It's like got me. But yeah, Megatron gets killed in the movie too, and he becomes Leonard Nimoy's Galvatron.
Yeah.
And then when they do the TV series, Leonard Nimoy doesn't reprise the voice, but the guy that did Megatron's voice, Frank Welker, does Galvatron's voice. But anyways,
we big huge fucking super chat there.
I know,
Holy
I just saw that.
$50
from the Nerdporial Lifeform.
And after YouTube's done with it, you might have enough left over to buy a 4K Blu-ray.
Oh, nice. I'm waiting because I need to get paid from YouTube so I can buy some more movies. Says, Happy New Year, Greg. Thanks for being a great guest and keeping me buying physical media. Cheers, Tom and chat. Well, thank you very much, Nerdporial. Appreciate it. If you guys don't know who Nerdporial is, go check him out. He's a great guy. He does a lot of like sci-fi and Star Wars or Star Trek and stuff like that. He's a good guy. I've been on his channel a few times and, we had some good chats. Matter of fact, we talked Gremlins and The Howling on his channel for Halloween. Check them out, and Christmas. And just for that, Nerdporial, I wish I had like a Star Trek clip. I don't, especially since we talked Nimoy and all that. I'll just give you this.
69, dudes!
They filmed a part of that movie at a very famous Star Trek location, if you don't recall.
Yes, I do.
Priceline.com.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nerdporial, for being such a generous human. Being so giving.
Yes.
In the season of giving.
Do the rollout with Shatner.
All right, roll out.
Autobots roll out.
Autobots roll. What? What's an Autobot? Is that like the thing in Germany where you drive the Autobahn?
You know, it's funny. I just watched the episode, The Changeling on Star Trek, where the thing comes to life, and the probe or whatever.
I don't watch the show.
I know you don't. You don't like talking. How's it? You like riding horses though?
I do. I have a few horses. Dude.
That's the best way I've heard to get to Shatner is don't talk Star Trek.
It is.
Talk about stuff like that.
That is correct, sir.
Yes, because
no, you can talk about the Star Trek way I ride a horse.
Yeah, Generations.
That's correct.
What was it like
under
riding
the
a
bridge? Oh, it was glorious. I rode it up on the mountain. It's a fine day. And I died under the bridge. Get it?
Yes, I get it.
Do you remember what my last lines were? Fuck Takai.
I was going to say this greatest adventure. I know it's sort of like the greatest adventure's dad that I could try to.
No. It was no, but really in my head I was saying, "Fuck you, George."
Yeah.
I'm stealing your line for the last time.
I don't understand why they never liked me.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Oh my, fuck the K. Yes, that's right. The last words were, "Oh my, fuck the K."
I stole your line, sir.
And Picard was
what are you gonna do?
Picard was like, "2K? Who's 2K?"
Fuck him. Just a pansy who's always bitching. Oh, he stole my line. Oh, my.
He took my screen time. Everybody wanted to see Takei, not Shatner being
I'm
Turk.
so beautiful. Oh.
That honestly, that gets you. It's like, I can understand some of them being pissed at Shatner, thinking that he's, he's like the cock of the walk, whatever. He's a star, but he's the star. Did they really think people wanted to see more of Sulu over Kirk? Seriously?
Exactly. That's what I said every time. And what did that little jerk do the first chance he gets? Takes his shirt off. Swinging that sword around.
Thinking he's Bruce Lee.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's no Kato.
Nope. Kato. The Green Hornet. All right. Yeah, but back to you, whatever you want to show now.
Well, kind of off of that, I guess. It's the closest I can come to it. I think I brought this on before, and I know you've talked about it before, so we can probably buzz past this one pretty quick. But this is always a fan favorite, and that is, of course, The Last Starfighter, which I have. Actually, I'll go grab it. I have the old DVD of, too, and Blu-ray.
Nice. Do I have the VHS? I have the VHS of it. I should go grab that when you get back. But yeah, The Last Starfighter. I always say, I always want to say The Last Starfighter for some reason, but The Last Starfighter is what it is.
I guess I don't have the Blu-ray anymore, but I do have the old DVD still there.
Oh, there you go.
I got to get out of Shatner voice. There you go. That's a nice old classic. Old ass DVD. Wonder how it looks. I haven't watched it in a long time.
I was just saying I have the VHS of it.
Yeah, well, what sucks about this here is for some reason they have the nice, cool, flashy cover on the old Blu-ray version, but on the 4K you get the flat-ass cover, so I'd almost want to switch them. But no, it looks great, sounds great. You get the 4.0 soundtrack plus the new 5.1 mix, and original Dolby stereo as well. The 4.0 mix, of course, coming from the 70mm release of the film. Get a nice truckload of extras here, including, I think, all the old stuff that was on the original flashy collector's edition from Universal back in the day on the Arrow release, and just your standard, what you expect from Arrow. I mean, they do a great job. I mean, I wish I hadn't bought the Blu-ray, but I think I've had that Blu-ray for quite a while, actually. I don't think they released the 4K for some time, but it was from the 4K scan initially anyway.
Yeah, I believe so. So is it a 4K an improvement over the Blu-ray?
From my initial remembering of the old Universal one, definitely. But over the Arrow one from a while back, not really, because they're from the same scan. But I was surprised this time I was watching it. I was kind of impressed at how good the CGI effects looked. Considering, I mean, yeah, they don't look good as CGI effects, but like the transfer looked pretty good, was my point. Yeah. And I think they did them telecine type, or however you want to call it back then. Because my understanding is back then they didn't have a way of transferring high definition over to some kind of film. So they had like only like a few monitors in the world that could do it. And so they would literally set up a film camera in front of these monitors, run it at 24 frames per second. And that's how they got the effects of a lot of this shit. And I think that's how they did it for this movie. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that's how they did shit. Like, so for instance, I know this is kind of off kilter, but it's kind of in the same vein. I guess this is why a few movies in the era of like Goofy movie and stuff like that are in a certain, we may never get a 4K scan of them because they don't exist in 4K.
Makes sense. I mean, yeah.
Because they just have the films that they did off of the telecine screen.
Yeah.
Because they finished them in the computer with all the backgrounds and shit. So like, it wasn't until they get to like a couple years later where they could figure out how to actually print out film from a digital medium. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. But no, I wish they would release a Goofy movie on a Blu-ray. I mean, I know they did to club.
Yeah, I got the regular Blu-ray. Yeah, but
I wish they would
I guess it's
release it on
stuck in
one.
1080p. I guess I don't know.
I mean, I'd be fine with that if they just release it on a Blu-ray for everybody to buy. Because that was one of the movies I really, really enjoyed. I know some people don't like it, but I actually really like a Goofy movie. It was pretty good. But The Last Starfighter is one of those generational classics, as far as I'm concerned. Mary Catherine, whatever her name is hot in the movie. Classic story. Kid plays a video game. I mean, it's the story that we all dreamed of, right? As a kid, we play this video game and we become a hero.
It's an Excalibur meets Star Wars, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the classic hero story journey. It's first movie to use CGI as well. I know you were just talking
technically
about
is photorealistic, because I know a lot of people think Tron is, and Tron does use some CGI elements, but I believe this is, as you're saying, the first time they actually did. And this is where I was saying I think they actually did this the way like they shot the Goofy movie thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where they actually had to shoot it off the monitor, I think, which is why I was surprised how good that it looked.
Right,
was my point. The CGI itself is so very low res, fucking very simplified, but it works for the movie because of what it is, right? The video game element of the film kind of plays into that, and I never even questioned it, to be honest with you. And I was kind of surprised at how advanced they had gotten at that point. Looking back on it now, you're like, wow, it's kind of surprising that they didn't jump from there. Because maybe it was because the movie, I don't think this movie did that well at the box office at the time, but it became a bigger hit on video and cable.
Yeah, you're right. It was another one of those movies I didn't like. I think it was up against a lot of big competition when it came out. I have to remember.
I think it came out in '84, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it was like in the packed year of '84, where, like you had a lot of movies come out. Yeah,
what was it? Like there was a bunch of movies that came out at the time and it was one of the ones that got lost.
That's the year I argue that is probably a bigger year than '82, even though me and Robert Burnett get into it. And that's one of the few things he ever gets real serious with me about. It's kind of weird.
82 is what's...
he takes that very seriously. And I'm like, dude, seriously. Now, look, I get it. You have some influential films in 82, but pound for pound, 84 has got to be the greatest film ever, or film year ever. Right?
There's a lot in it.
Just the top 100 films alone. Like,
I think it's because he's the guy that also, like, a lot of the 82 is a great year. It is one of the great years for geek movies. You get like The Thing, The Wrath of Khan, and all that. But I think like what gets Robert is like he never liked when like the teenagers started taking, you know what I mean? A lot of those movies.
But I think once I kind of remind him that like 84 also had things like Terminator.
That's true.
Like maybe even Last Starfighter was a movie I brought up. And just other things, that we normally bring up, Gremlins, Ghostbusters, so on and so forth. I mean, just the fact that you have top 5 films of like Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, stuff like that are all crammed in that top 5, Gremlins, so on. I mean, that's just that. And then you got Purple Rain. When I start bringing up movies like Purple Rain and shit like that, then he kind of starts to think about it a little bit. That's the most I've gotten to him on it though. But maybe someday I'll talk him into it.
Maybe. I mean, well, he is in that documentary, which said, I don't know.
Yeah, what I mean is I want to get him in kind of like a debate situation kind of thing. Not like a horrible debate, but like a friendly debate.
We should do that. And I'll be like the moderator.
I've been trying. But he takes it so fucking seriously. Like one time I mentioned it and he's like, yeah, I don't even want, he didn't say it, but like it was kind of basically like, yeah, I'm not going to debate it because I know I'm right. Like, it was kind of the attitude I got out of him. And I'm just like, wow, you're normally not like this, Robert. What the fuck? I didn't say it like that, but that's what I was thinking. No, I love Robert, and I totally understand where he's coming from. And again, you're right. Like, to him, influentially, that year is a big deal to him. But me, looking back on the 80s, like, that was a year where I fell in love with movies because of all the movies that came out that year between Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, Gremlins. Shit we just mentioned, stuff like that. Police Academy, Last Starfighter.
Robert's older than us, right?
Yeah, by 10 years at least.
That makes sense because, like, he was alive. Like, I wasn't alive in 82. So he was alive when those happened. And like 84, we can remember those movies from 84 and everything. So,
well, I was old enough to kind of remember some of those years. And those are some of the earlier video films. And don't get me wrong. Like I said, 82 is a great year. But again, I mean, 84 has so many movies. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street. We could keep going. The list is so long.
It's insane.
Of films, not just films that were great, but films that spawned franchises, and we still have films from them today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ghostbusters being one of the prime ones we talk about. We just got another Beverly Hills Cop, and shit like that too. So like, there's always talk about another Gremlins and
all the
how many Terminators have we had? And
yeah, that's what Ron says. That's what I was thinking. I was 8 years old in 19. I remember seeing all this. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, yes, it is a great geek year. Yes, it truly is a great geek year. But 84 is also truly a great geek year.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you had Top Gun, Top Secret. You had, you had Friday the 13th 4. You had 2010, Amadeus, Spinal Tap.
It's just amazing.
It's
Natural. Like the 80s hit their peak in 84.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, besides Temple of Doom, I already mentioned, you had Romancing the Stone, Conan the Destroyer.
Oh, I was just thinking about watching Romancing
Dune,
the Stone.
Starman, Night of the Comet.
Yes. Love Night. Speaking of Night
Avenger.
of the Comet, Toxic Avenger, yes. What's her name? Catherine Mary Stewart is also in Night of the Comet.
Yeah.
She's great in that too.
Tank. Against All Odds,
Tank.
Body Double. Ice Pirates. Now, that was a movie. For years, I tried to figure out what the fuck it was. And then Red Dawn and Neverending Story, 2 bigger films also from that year.
Mm-hmm.
Cloak and Dagger was also out that year. And I'm just going down the list here. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Karate Kid was another one I forgot is one of the bigger films of the year. Duh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always forgetting shit. Children of the Corn.
Was Supergirl in 84?
I think so. Footloose, of course, was another big one that year. Yep.
Yeah.
Muppets Take Manhattan. And I'm always forgetting shit that come out in 84 too. It's like, oh yeah, duh, that came out that year.
Yeah. I could see like also like after speaking to Robert and stuff, because he has the
Missing
whole
in
like,
Action.
No, like go ahead, keep on. But like after
action.
Yeah. Like
Missing in Action.
Robert Missing Action. Speaking of Robert and stuff, he does like, he didn't really like when the teenagers and stuff took over the movies and stuff.
They always have. He just doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
They have since the 1950s, basically.
So I could kind of maybe see some of his gripes, but I mean, you can't deny those movies.
Well, and his gripes are along the same lines as fucking Tarantino's at the same time, where it's like, I think you're just kind of blindly hating on shit just because. Kind of like the whole thing with fucking Goonies.
Yeah. Oh, let's not even go in all that shit.
Yeah, we're not even going to get into all that. That's 85 anyway.
Yeah.
So anyhow, let's move on then.
What was we? Oh yeah, we was talking about the Last Starfighter. Great
Should
movie.
I do another one or are we done?
I got one movie left, so you can do another one.
Left, so I'll do some more. All right, let's do some more. Let's knock some out here. I watched Superman 3 again. I don't know why I got fucking a bug on my ass. I wanted to watch.
Yeah, I was thinking about watching Superman. There's so many movies I kept thinking about watching that I haven't got to yet. I was thinking about watching Superman Returns.
I don't know why. I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Superman 3.
I like Superman 3. I do. I'm jealous of the Steelbook. I like the Steelbook.
Taxes? I was supposed to get $200 a week.
Yeah, when he gets his paycheck. Always made me laugh at the end of the movie. He's like, me and Superman, we friends. And he opens up his shirt like he's revealing the ass. He's like, how the hell you know Superman does it? You don't know he's Clark Kent. You don't know he's Clark Kent that he does that.
I know. It just works, though. It just works.
It does.
And I don't care. People give that movie shit all the time. I'm like, you know what? That is one of the most comic book movies of comic book movies ever.
It is.
I don't care what you say. It is like, because like people are like, oh, but it's like Richard Pryor. It's like, no, fuck you. They would have guests in comic books all the time. Muhammad Ali, like fucking, like all kinds of. Yeah, the Partridge Family show up, the Brady Bunch and shit, and just wherever randomly in a Superman comic and shit, wherever, or Archie or wherever, it would happen all the fucking time. So I could imagine Richard Pryor is a special guest in this comic book and it is such a comic book story, and you almost have to turn off your. I don't want to say turn off your brain. I hate that fucking saying.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah,
but it is kind of one of those movies where if you can't question too much. But at the time, you almost don't give it too much credit, enough credit. Kind of like, I mean, look, I love that part of Office Space where they bring it up.
Yeah.
It's like, that movie does not get enough credit. Yeah, it was a pretty clever idea.
It's like in Superman 3, we're going to do that. It
Oh, I
is.
fucked up and put a decimal point in the wrong place. I'm always doing something mundane, stupid idea thing like that. I'd say it's a little big deal.
That's another great movie.
Yeah, which is funny. It's like we should have known this is the same damn thing that happened in Superman.
Yes. And it's good. It's good. I know it's out of place, but I really enjoy the scene when he fights himself. I know.
I love it too. That was as a kid.
Scene, man. It's
that was always a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
And they did such a great job with the special effects. Considering,
right? Sometimes you can't even tell it's a stunt man. It's so good the way it's done. I mean, it's everybody, like you said, everybody gives a shit, but how many people know that scene when he's flicking peanuts at the mirror and he fights himself? Like, how many people talk about that? They talk about that to this day. So it made an impact, whether you liked it or not. It made an impact, and it's the first appearance of like the alternate kryptonite, like you said, comic book story. Like, how many different versions of kryptonite did to introduce? They really go in a different way with the kryptonite in this one, where it makes him into the.
As a kid, you see it as like, oh, it's like a bizarro Superman. Then he splits up in the good and bad side. But as an adult, I'm watching it now and I'm going, oh, this is just Superman having an inner battle with himself, right? Like, this is all in his fucking head, right? Like, this ain't really happening. It's just, his good side fighting with this fucked up kryptonite that fucked him up. And that's another bit. Like, all the stuff that happens in the movie is so comic book movie. Or comic booky, like, and Gus creating the supercomputer, and what's his name, Vaughn.
Oh yeah, I can't think of his name, but he like stand-in Lex Luthor,
and he's fine. He's fine. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with him. Robert Vaughn. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I forgot his name.
Yeah.
And he could play Lex Luthor for that, as far as I go. He's kind of more really Lex Luthor. He's almost kind of more Lex Luthor in some ways than Gene Hackman was.
Yeah, he's a little more, like you said, he's a little more like comic book Lex Luthor, period, in that movie.
Yeah, with his whole, if I control the oil and I control the world.
Yeah.
It's like, and his sister, fuck. That shit scared the hell out
I was going to say, that's
when
like
she turned into a fucking robot.
In the movie, we're just like, what the hell is going on in this movie?
Pretty close to us getting fucking like a Brainiac kind of thing mixed with Metallo. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. Like you said, it's very, very comic book, and yeah, like Ron points out here with the chemical plant where he uses his intelligence and his powers all in one. That shows you like the extent of Superman. Because I always get tired of that shit as a Superman fan. It's a hard path to walk as a Superman fan over a Batman fan, because they're like, oh, Batman's the greatest detective. His mind is, Superman's mind is actually that smart as well. Because like he's got like a supercomputer in his brain as well.
Well, and they set it up where earlier in the movie where they have the fire and in the chemicals in the lake, so he all knows what he's got to do. Like, the acid and shit. Like, it's all set up. It's a very well written film that gets a lot of shit, and I don't understand why. I still to this day I'm watching the movie going, yeah, I get it. It's a comic book cartoon movie, but it's still a pretty goddamn good one.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And it looks pretty good on that 4K too. So not bad looking.
Yeah,
4K on that. So yeah.
The only thing that sucks is we need the TV cut of this one. I don't know why Warner stopped just doing the TV cut with the first movie. I want a TV cut for 2 and 3.
That'd be nice. But
that's the version I grew up on. Yeah. I didn't see it on video until way later in life, and when I saw it the way, I was like, "What the fuck? Where's a third of the movie?" Like,
from what I understand, I think I read somewhere before these came out or when they were coming out, is like anything like extra like that, like how they got the 3-hour Superman TV cut on, will all come from Warner Archive. Like even Supergirl, like the extended cut of that, which is on Warner Archive. So like the
version we have now is actually the international cut in HD, but it has the director's cut, but it's that really crappy VHS quality that's been the same one ever since the old Anchor Bay disc. So that version needs an upgrade. The extended director's cut, the full length 2.5-hour Supergirl. Definitely needs an upgrade, yeah. And I would love the TV cut of Superman 2 and 3.
It'd be nice. They need to start adding and putting
especially
all that
3. Because 3 was the one, like I said, I grew up on that version, like the TV cut. So like to this day, there's scenes that I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, where's that? Yeah, where? Oh no, it's just theatrical.
And
cut.
it starts completely different because in the TV cut, it starts with a normal Superman opening with the space and the shield and the theme, and then the opening scene just runs like a scene, not like the theme, the opening credits.
Right.
And there's a lot more to it.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember the TV cut doing that. That because I noticed that too when
the
I watched
TV cut's like close to I think a half hour longer or whatever because I think they showed it over 2 nights originally, just like they did with the first 2.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun movie. I mean, I love the Leaning Tower pizza thing when he he straightens it and they make it the new things and then he fixes it and they got to get rid of all the.
That always made me laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought that was funny. I do like when he fixes the ship out in the ocean. He puts
3 is where they actually got the humor to work. See, it didn't work in part 2, but it worked in part 3 because it was built into the idea. See, that was the whole thing: is you have a comedian to work with. It works to do it that way, and I didn't mind it. To me, it's just like another issue of a comic book where they just did it that way instead of it being the other ones. So we already had 2 serious Superman movies. Now we're getting. Although at that time, Superman 2 wasn't as serious as the Donner cut, but yeah.
They had to shoot in a comedy because it wasn't supposed to be comedy in the second one. Like you said, that's why it doesn't. That's why it's off-centered and everything. And then the third one is intentionally comedy was added into it on purpose from the get.
Yes.
So
other than that, that's about all I have to say. But speaking of Warner Archive, that's actually a good transition into their latest release because now they've gotten into 4K.
Oh, nice.
And we got The Searchers. That's a pretty good release. I did notice some DNR in some spots and some still grain. And I don't know why. But other than that, it's a pretty good scan. So glad to see. I think this is another one they did in really high. Because Warner Archive's been doing an average of like 6 or 8K.
Yeah.
They do these. So, so it looked good. The movie is, one of John Wayne's best. I've talked about it before. I think I watched it not even a year ago. Yeah, I think it was when I brought it on. So I mean, we don't really need to get into it too much.
It's a good movie.
Oh yeah, it's kind of it's one of those controversial films because of what it's about, but fuck them.
Yeah.
Like it has a really. It's one of those movies that you could have a conversation about, right? Like, look. What is John Wayne's character up to? And the whole idea of he's going to kill that girl. He's not out to get her. He's not out to bring her home. He's going to kill her when he finds her. And you have the other character who's there to try and make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, right? Because her living with Indians that long and everything, and
and then of course the turn at the end, and this is what pisses me off when people get on this movie about, oh, it's racist, it's this, it's that, it's blah blah blah, ableist and whatever else. Not ableist, but abolitionist or whatever fuck it is the word I'm looking for. It's like, you dumb fucks, did you not watch the movie? He doesn't kill her.
Exactly.
He's the one who brings her home.
Yeah.
He has a change of heart. Things change.
Yeah, and I mean it's a long search too. So
he even has a scene where he realizes he's a lot more like Scar than he realizes. He's just the white version of Scar.
Yep. And once again, that's people looking through a modern lens at a movie. Like you cannot look through a modern lens at movies like this.
My point is that's very progressive for the mid-50s.
Exactly.
Dumb shit.
They don't understand. I mean, like, because he was there was a reason why he wanted to kill him, especially, and you can say what you will, but that stuff happened. Yeah, it happened on the white side too, but they also took white women on the Indians and did some horrible shit to them. So,
that's the whole point of the movie. Like, they don't even get it. It's like the movie is making the point that you're trying to make, you dumb fuck.
Exactly.
Watch the movies. It's like the idiots who say, "Oh, Cool Runnings is racist." It's like, did you watch the fucking movie?
How did you? I don't understand. I don't get that. I do not.
How do you walk away from the movie thinking that? Like, That's why I don't understand why this movie is so fucking controversial. It's literally saying everything that everybody wants it to say on that side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, white people are just as bad, if not worse.
Exactly. Both sides did bad shit.
The whole point of the movie is that John Wayne's character has done nothing but fucking kill these Indians for years without thinking twice. And not only that, his whole intention is, and he even says it, like, once they're gone, right? I'm going to kill that girl, basically, is what he's saying, right? Yeah. Like, she's no longer my niece, right? Yep. And he keeps reminding that other guy that he's a half-breed, too, on top of it all. Mm-hmm. And then what does he do? What does he fucking do? He gives everything he ever has to that kid. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, duh, you guys, like, oh, Jesus. Sorry. It just...
No, good. Let it out, man. It's true. That's why I hate talking to anybody who has seen these movies now, because they're all constantly looking through the modern lens. They're constantly like, oh, well, it's this, it's that, it's this. I hate that. Hey, I watched this movie when I was a kid. Let's watch it again. Oh, I didn't realize it was homophobic, racist, and this. Shut up. You like the movie. Right. Shut up.
Well, not only did I have to watch a John Ford one, of course I had to balance it out with the Howard Hawks, Rio Lobo. And again, here he is playing, you know, I'm pretty sure he was a Union guy. And basically there's a robbery on a train, and then the war ends, but the war doesn't end for him. He's still after the guys that robbed that train, because he knows somebody turned coat on him. So it's your typical fucking John Wayne movie. I mean, it was pretty good.
It's good. I mean, I haven't seen Rio Lobo in a bit longer than I've seen The Searchers, but I remember it being pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. I would say The Searchers is one of Wayne's best roles. So.
Oh, Searchers is definitely great. Other than True Grit, it's probably one of his best. Not one of his best, but knock out another one real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Branigan.
Branigan.
Boy, is this fucker slow. And for those who don't know what this is John Wayne going, you know, that Eastwood kid did one of those cop movies. Maybe that's what I need to do with a big gun. Yeah, it's basically Dirty Harry is John Wayne.
It's Dirty Harry, yeah.
It's slow. It could have
love that
one. It's all right, but it's just slow. It's just it's like
it is what it is. It's like, I think John Wayne was one of them guys that played the cowboy for so long and defined himself as a cowboy that it was hard to see him in anything else other than those type of movies.
It almost feels like they wasted the opportunity, because the whole point of the movie is Branigan's like a Dirty Harry style cop who they send him off to chase after this guy he's been after for a while over in the UK because they locate him, plus to get him out of their hair in Chicago for a while because, you know, just like Dirty Harry, he's done nothing but cause them problems. And instead of playing more with the fish out of water element with Wayne, it's just kind of bland. And in that sense, it's like it makes you wonder, was like, who was to blame for this? Because it could have been and should have been John Wayne having a bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just, you know, you just let John Wayne fucking loose in Britain. Or London, let him loose in Britain, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
They're saying McHugh was better. People like Branigan, but they're saying McHugh was better.
I have to check out McHugh.
I don't think I've heard of McHugh.
I think that was his other cop movie.
Yeah, that was the other one. Huh. Yeah, but
this one was okay. It just felt like, I mean, like Richard Attenborough's good in it, but he's a little, it's a little too clean and a little too, like I said, they didn't take any chances, and it almost feels like John Wayne just couldn't poke fun at himself.
Right. I get you. So that to me, John Wayne will always be the cowboy. You know what I mean?
You could have worked with that, right? Like even the whole John Wayne persona, like I said, the fact that they just let him loose in London, right? And it's even one of the there is jokes in the film, but it's like they could have amped it up a little bit more. I feel like because it's almost like a Beverly Hills Cop before Beverly Hills Cop in a weird way, and it's like you missed this opportunity, is what I felt like.
Right. I get you. It's been a long, long time since I've seen Branigan. I've probably seen The Searchers more or recently than I've seen Branigan, because my dad loves that one. Like I said, my dad loves Rio Bravo, El Dorado, Liberty Valance. I do like, and we do like his very last movie, which I do think is a very underrated movie. What was it called? I just bought it from Arrow and I just watched it.
Oh, the Shootist.
Yeah, that's actually
and we add True Grit in there, and I agree with you.
True Grit, his
best movies.
Yep. And I said Liberty Valance and McClintock. My dad really, really loves McClintock.
I almost watched Liberty Valance again. I do want to watch that one.
I love Liberty Valance. That's one of my favorites of his. So yeah.
All right. Well, I only got one left now, so go ahead.
I got one left now,
and then we'll go my last.
I
technically have two, but they're
Once again, this may not be a quick conversation because this movie is not what this is. A movie that I'm going to rip.
Hey, we're doing pretty good. We just got through 10 fucking movies plus your 2. So 12
but just
movies
us
in 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Hopefully, I'm hoping I will have more next week and we'll have more people with us. But I have Grave Desires, the unrated director's cut, directed by Fred Olen Ray. It's not good. It's a horrible movie.
I don't even know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. Fred Olen Ray. I know you know the director, right?
Ring the bell.
He's one of the guys like Jim Wynorski type guys.
Yeah.
Where they did like B movies and boobies and all that. So
Evil Toon guy. Okay, yeah.
Evil Toon guy. I saw this. He was promoting this like for the first time ever on Blu-ray, the unrated director's cut of Grave Desires. Get it? I was like, okay, I'll check that out. It's about a vampire strip club. It's a Skinamax flick. It's not even good. I thought I was going to get something like Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, which he did, which is fun. It's like one of those fun bad movies, And no, this is just a Skinamax flick, and I'm like, I didn't even finish it. I'll be honest, I didn't finish it. I couldn't sit through it. It was horrible. It's this woman who's pretending to be a really, really bad reporter, goes to a vampire strip club, a lot of sex. That's really, really fake, and just it was not what I anticipated it to be. To be honest with you, the best thing I can say about it was it was a cheap buy. It was a cheap date. It was because his movies aren't very expensive. But yeah, that's about what I can say about it. It was stupid. It's a woman and a detective trying to stop vampires at a strip club. That's the extent of the movie, and it's just not very good. That's about all. Yeah, and I wish I had more to say on it, and because I hate having to go right back to you after you talk through all those. That's why I wish we had more people and I had more movies to give you a break. But it's just, I like Fred Olen Ray. I like those type of movies. I like those type of bad cheesy B movies like that. But this was just not at all what I expected it to be, because I expected it to be on the level of like Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, where it's like, yeah, there's nudity in it, but there's a story to it. That's, even though it's a bad, like, it's one of those good bad movies you watch. Yeah, there's a detective and he's tracking down hookers that are cutting people with a chainsaw, and the guy that played Leatherface is like running this cult of these women. And I thought it was going to be a movie like that. No, it's just one of those Cinemax movies that they used to show on Cinemax. There's no plot to it. It's just sex scene story, and there's no story really. It's just a bad movie, and I don't understand why it's unrated, because nothing about the movie looks unrated. If you've ever watched any of those Skinamax movies growing up as a kid,
yeah,
it's what it is. If it's unrated, I don't know what the fuck they cut out of it, because they don't show anything. They just show some boobs, and some really bad fake sex. So, you know, I don't get it, but hey, I wish I could talk more about it. It was just unfortunate buy on my part. I can't recommend it. So it just came out recently. So I thought I was getting something different. The way he bragged about it being new, unrated, on the first time ever on Blu-ray. Thought, oh, this is one of those type of movies. So, but no, it wasn't, and it wasn't. But yeah, there you go. This is my final pick of the night. Yeah, bad, extremely bad dry humping. It's not even. I've seen better in other movies, to be honest with you, and that's that. It's just like it was like some of the worst fake sex I've ever seen in my life. I felt bad for the chick getting fake sex laid. I was like, you deserve better than that, honey, because that's pretty bad. You're showing your tits for that. You should have got paid up front better. I mean, come on. But anyways, there you have it. That's what I have for you guys tonight.
All right.
I really promise I'm hoping to have more next week and maybe a new person to fill in for the absentees. But there you go, Tom. If you want to finish it off for the night, we'll close down, get it under 3 hours.
All right. Well, my last two films start with The Bad News Bears with
Walter
Matthau and Tatum O'Neal. And I don't understand why they did this. They took his cigar, changed it. I don't know why.
Offensive.
We'll talk about it in just a minute. Because it's weird, because like they've done this on a lot of things now to take off the cigarettes or cigars or so. Yeah. Now this movie needs a new fucking scan so god dang badly. This scan is old as piss. And it looks like shit. And it needs a 4K scan horribly bad. Are you listening, Paramount?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think next year will be the anniversary of this, if I'm not mistaken. 76, I think it was. Yep, 76. So, get on it. No, the movie's great, though. It still holds up. It's a great movie. You got Kevin Smith on here for some fucking reason on a special feature.
Don't you love when they do that?
Yeah. Otherwise, you got Jackie Earl Haley. His stuff's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually shares some home videos and stuff from home videos, actually Super 8 from when he shot the film.
Yeah, because it was like 70 something, right?
75 or whatever when they shot it. Yeah. And then, of course, I watched the remake from Richard Linklater starring
I've never
Billy
seen
Bob
the
Thornton.
remake.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen the remake.
It's actually pretty good.
Is it?
It retains almost everything verbatim from the original film. It just updates everything.
Okay.
And the few things that it does update work. And Billy Bob is fucking good. And it actually steals something from the TV show because in the movie, Walter Matthau's character, he cleans pools for a living.
Mm-hmm.
In the TV show, it's same character, but it's played by I forgot his name, but he's the guy who plays the grandpa in the Problem Child movies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ah, shit. Somebody in the chat, Steven will get it.
Yeah,
but anyhow, he's a exterminator in the TV show. Well, so he's an exterminator in the remake. But otherwise, like, it really is almost verbatim. The only things they really change is instead of it being a dad who starts the team, it's a mom, and it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It just makes more sense that way. And there's the few things they add are just work so well. And there's some certain one-liners and shit that Billy Bob has that are just fucking great. I mean, the kid they got playing Kelly Leak is kind of weak in comparison to the original. But the girl they got playing Tatum's role is pretty good. And what's sad is I didn't know until Jack Warden, thank you. I didn't know until I watched this and I was looking it up just for randomness that the girl died years ago in a car accident, actually.
Oh, that's
which is kind of sad, but yeah. So she only lived to be about 20, but because I was like, I wonder what she's been up to lately, and certainly because I was looking up the cast and other people.
I hate when you do that, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
Oops. I don't mean to laugh about it. I'm sorry.
Because this is the first thing he did after School of Rock, so it was kind of a big deal when it came out. And I remember, I got treated pretty well, and it is on 4. It does have a 4K scan.
Mm-hmm.
on digital. And that same scan is on this disc, and I'll be honest with you, this disc looks better just by a nut hair than the 4K version on streaming.
Okay.
It's just because of the bullshit that goes through streaming.
Yeah.
My 4K upconverted version through my Sony player looked better. It didn't have as much artifacting and other crap that the streaming version has. But it looks really good because it's from a 4K scan of the film. So,
yeah.
I mean, it has it. It'll probably, this movie has one. I don't know why the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
Because what's funny is these Blu-rays came out really close together from my memory. Because the Bad News Bears had not had a Blu-ray in the longest time. I had the DVD somewhere. I swear I still had it, but I couldn't find it. Because that was, like, for the longest time, it's the only way you could get it. But, no, it's a classic. It's a movie I loved as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
And I was happy when I saw the remake that I'm like, oh my God, they didn't fucking destroy it.
Yeah, I just never, I don't know, for whatever reason, I never watched the remake. I don't know why. I like Billy Bob Thornton too, so I don't know why I never watched it.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy the remake. It's especially because it does. It pays loving homage to the original film. But like the things that it changed, like, okay, so like you saw one of my hints, that gives away one of the jokes. Because like, you know, in the original movie, you know, the same thing happens where he's got to go get uniforms. When he walks into the bail bonds place, just like he does in the original film. And so you assume that's who's going to be the Chico's bail bond, right? No. They wait till the reveal later on and you find he's like, hey, they got to make their money just like everybody else, honey. They still ain't showed the shirt, right? So like you don't know the jersey, so you still don't know it until like, and then all of a sudden they reveal and you're like, oh fuck, you know, like, and they also got a kid in a wheelchair. So, like, and like for some, and about the cigar thing, here's the thing: they didn't take it away from fucking Billy Bob Thornton. He still got his.
Oh yeah, he still got his. So
I don't understand why they did it to the other one. Like I said, they've never. Yeah, see, he still got it there.
That's because like, I don't know. That's weird.
Then you got Greg Kinnear's the bad guy playing the what's his face role, the guy who died during the Twilight Zone movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name. We're old, and we're running on fumes here.
Vic Morrow.
Vic Morrow. Yeah. Vic Morrow.
Yeah. And there's this ongoing joke with his Greg Kinnear's character wearing these tight shorts, and he's like, looks like you're smuggling grapes down there, and he calls them grape nuts.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
No, Matthau was like, I mean, I love Matthau, and I don't think anybody could ever replace him. But this was like, if there was ever a movie where it's like, yes, Billy Bob.
Yeah.
If they could have just got the rest of the kids, and most of the kids are damn near perfect. Just the one they got playing Kelly Leak was kind of like weak, and he's barely, like, his part gets minimalized quite a bit, but not like that much. Like all the same shit pretty much happens. Yeah. Again, it's almost verbatim the original film.
Right. So I don't have to see it. I just remembered like he was coming off of I watched an interview with him back then because he had done Bad Santa and a couple of movies like that, like Bad Santa, and he said it in an interview. He's like, once Hollywood latches on to something, they constantly repeat it. Billy Bob Thornton said. So like he was it sounded like he was kind of getting stuck in a rut of like Bad Santa type roles. So but I don't know why I ever skipped out on that one. So it says so much.
I mean, it didn't do the greatest at the box office. It did like, looking up here, it did like 30 million, 35 million. I don't even know what the budget was. It probably wasn't too high.
Yeah, I mean, back at the time that it came out, that was probably pretty decent.
Oh, it had a $35 million budget.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably a pretty decent budget.
Wow. I'm kind of
especially
surprised
with Billy
they spent
Bob.
that much on it.
I mean, he was an Oscar winner and all that.
Yeah, he probably got a nice payday on it.
Yeah.
But I know Paramount treated it well on DVD, and they treated it well okay on Blu-ray, just carried over everything. But it looks good. It got a 4K scan for this Blu-ray. And yeah, so in that respect, it looks good, sounds good. It was shot in an era where it was still on film, so yeah.
I'm still surprised they have not been a good, like a newer release of the original, like you were just saying. Like,
I hopefully being the anniversary next year they do, because they've never released the sequels on Blu-ray either yet. Now I have the imports, but
yeah, I was gonna say, didn't somebody like
Imprint? I think it is.
Yeah, or somebody put them on Blu-ray for theirs or whatever.
And the sequels are okay. They really need to get the TV show out too. It'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it's not great, but I do remember the TV show as a kid because it would get shown once in a while in like a syndicated form. But yeah.
Now Matthew didn't come back for the sequels, did he?
No.
Yeah.
The second one has Devane. I'm trying to think of his first name.
Oh, William Devane.
William Devane, and then the third one has. God, I can't even remember now.
Yeah,
but Devane comes in because Kelly knows him. I can't remember how. And then I can't remember now who's in the third one for some reason. And I've got them both from the imports.
Yeah.
And I have the old DVDs as well. It's just been a while since I've watched them. I'll probably watch them again here.
Yeah.
Good night, which is funny because I think Michael Pressman is the director of the second one. He directed Ninja Turtles 2, if I remember right, too. So he comes in for the sequels, yeah.
Yeah, it replaces just one person.
Yeah.
Good night, Brad Bart. Thank you for hanging with us.
But yeah, I mean, they don't change anything. Like, it's funny, though, because I guess the original script, because I was watching the Tony Curtis, that's right, yes.
Yeah, Tony Curtis.
Kind of oddball, but yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, I can see Devane replacing Mattel, but Tony Curtis, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's a little odd. And I probably have only seen the third one once or twice in my life. Yeah. I remember the second one okay, but like the second one was always on TV, I remember as a kid for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
What was I gonna say now? I totally fucking spaced out. Oh yeah, they Jackie Earle was talking about a few things in his interview. And I think, don't they have an interview? I was going to say, don't they have an interview with, I think, the producer, too? Yeah, they also have one with the producer on here, Stanley Jaffe. Because he was talking about the original version of the script. Because he was saying when they bought the script, when Paramount bought it, the script didn't change. The only thing that changed was the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the original ending, they win.
Right.
That was the only change. So, yeah. And a few of the lines and stuff like that here and there and some other things. But, like, yeah. So, like, yeah. So, I mean, it was one of those things. Because the original writer, I think, come back and wrote the third one, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah.
Sometimes that's good or bad. So, you know, it's like, I can make it.
I don't really remember if the third one's that bad or good, to be honest with you. All I remember is it takes place in Japan. That's all I remember.
Oh, yeah. Bad News Bears good in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've only seen the first one more than I've seen any of them, personally.
Oh, yeah. I can quote shit from the first movie.
Yeah. Maybe remember a little bit of part 2, but I can't remember nothing about the third movie. And I never, like I said, I never seen the remake. It's good movies.
I'm kind of surprised because that came out at a time before remakes were kind of taboo. You know, like it was still kind of accepted. Like this was also around the same time we got the Adam Sandler Longest Yard and a couple other ones in that era where it was like, okay, we'll see. And then they actually turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, they weren't like, and they were respectful to like somewhere along the way. They stopped being respectful to what the original movie. Like like they had cast members from the original Longest Yard and Adam Sandler movie. Yeah, you know they.
Well, and what works for this movie is they don't necessarily have the original cast members, but what they do have is they take what the original film was. It doesn't have a lot of the racist stuff that was in the first movie per se that I recall. But what it does is add a little bit of a layer of the, well, you kind of said the bad Santa-ism about it.
Yeah.
Because like his version of Buttermaker is much more crass.
Right.
Than Walter Matthau's version. Like, 'cause I remember like the one part where they tie or whatever. He's like, no, my old coach used to say tie is like kissing your sister. But the way we've been playing, it's more like kissing a really hot stepsister. So that's something.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's paying respect to the original Bad News Bears and keeping the spirit of it.
Jesus Christ, you guys are swinging like Helen Keller at a piñata party.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And they weren't like in here, like you could say it was brought into the modern age, but they were not like, if that were remade today, he'd be like a sensitivity coach. He wouldn't say shit like that. You know what I mean?
Like, they got what's his face, the fat kid. I just forgot his name. Engelbert. He's like, he's on an Atkins diet in this movie. It's like, Jesus Christ, is that a baggie full of bacon? I'm on an Atkins diet, so I can eat as much as I want as long as I don't eat any bread. It's like shit like that is a little different, but like otherwise it's like almost literally the same lines and scenes and everything. I mean, a few things are taken up a notch, like so he keeps taking the kids to Hooters. So the Hooters girls start showing up to the games like it's cheerleaders and shit. Like little things like that. I mean, like, stuff that doesn't hurt the film, it does add to it. It's more like a garnish,
It's like I said, it's like keeping the spirit of, but this is what it would be at that point in time. This is what would happen. That's good. I'm gonna have to check that one out now. Now you've interested me to make me see this remake. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. I think you'll dig it.
Yeah,
it's one of those remakes that's not bad.
Yeah. It was like you were saying, it was at that time. I think what really killed the remake era is they started to try to maybe movies like that and Longest Yard and others kind of maybe did good business and people were liking them. And then it's like, let's remake this, let's remake that, and then they started forgetting why they were
what killed it was the Total Recall, Red Dawn.
Oh yeah, that stuff, yeah.
And it came to a full head with Ghostbusters, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, when they started to do all those remakes, they stopped respecting what came before it and just was like trying to remake to make money.
I mean, even at the time when they did Bad News Bears, I think Walter Matthau had already passed and shit, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I mean, at that point, it's like, and it was like a perfect storm, right? You had the guy who just made School of Rock, right? And School of Rock had a lot of the same kind of Bad News Bears kind of inklings, only it was the rich kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Billy Bob Thornton, who was hot at that moment in time, like you just said.
Yep.
And take that Bad Santa character, now put that in as the Walter Matthau character from Bad News Bears, and it was a perfect storm. I'm surprised it didn't work better at the box office, to be honest with you. I remember when it came out on video, I was working, I think, at either Movie Gallery or was it, let me look, actually, I should see here. Actually, I might have been at the mom and pop shop. So I think my DVD still, yep, it does have the old Sparta Video logo on it. Yeah, that's one of my places I worked at, was a mom and pop shop right there.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I remember it was real popular when it came out on disc. I mean, it was a renter and seller, so I mean, people enjoyed it on video. So maybe that's why they've treated it well since, as far as getting a 4K now, as far as a scan, and then getting this Blu-ray not too long ago from that 4K scan.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll probably get a 4K Blu-ray of it soon, because this would be the anniversary of this movie, because this came out in 2005. So
it's kind of interesting that some of the movies you brought tonight were good home video sellers. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's kind of, okay, there's a reason why I watch these kind of movies this time of year and I jump into this, because, and I'm sure you were this way too when we were younger, like when I would have when we get Christmas vacation, like that was me and my buddies would do through the whole fucking Christmas vacations, we'd rent movies.
Yeah. Yep.
Unless they got a video game system for Christmas, then it was that. But otherwise it was, we were renting whatever movies we were catching up on. And usually because we'd get like a video coupon book for Christmas and stuff like that too. So like we'd just every day, just constantly. So a lot of these movies were movies that this time of the year makes me think of a lot of those kind of movies, even though has nothing to do with them.
Like, that's what, I know exactly what you're talking about. Cause like in my case, it was like, I would get a lot of new movies for Christmas, and I would burn through them, and then like I'd want to watch more and rent more, and then also
or that movies you get for Christmas, or
like there's something about like on TV, if you had cable, because we didn't always have cable, but
True.
when you had cable, they'd be showing like the latest blockbusters and stuff. So you kind of get like, once again, why do you think we watched the Avengers? Why do you think I brought the Avengers? Because it's typically played this time of year, for better or worse. Around this time of year, it's played. So you kind of, or like you were even like Superman. Superman was played this type of year, or like just the movies like you were just talking about, Bad News Bears, or I'm trying to think of comedies, because they play a lot of comedies as well and stuff like that. Like that stuff is played.
Well, and I think Paramount sold Bad News Bears on video too, if I'm not mistaken, in one of their rounds.
So like in your home, like that's why I really wish I had more to bring on here, and I feel so bad about it, because it's like this is the time of year where I'm typically watching a lot of movies. But in some cases, to be honest with you, some of those we've brought on in the past a lot, because you rewatch some of this time of year as well. From that, maybe you watched earlier in the year. So
well, a lot of this, like I said, was time management. I think we talked more about that before the show.
Yeah.
But I just managed to work this out. This time out next week, and like last time, I didn't have very many. Who knows what'll happen this week? But yeah. No, I just got lucky and was able to manage my time pretty well and get a lot of movies watched and and also it's really cool that Turbine used our commentary. So
that is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, so I wanted to get that on here as soon as possible, because I know that's one that's been out for a while. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Outside of the controversy of 7, hopefully I'll get to Neverending Story. I do have that.
Oh, did
I've
you
had
get
it
that
now
big
for
set?
like 2 weeks? Yeah, I got that fucker. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was not expecting it to be that goddamn big. I'm like expecting it to be like the size of a book.
I'm jealous, man.
It is huge. Well, they'll probably do a standard release, so I wouldn't get too worried about it. Like, honestly, if I had thought about it now in hindsight, I probably would have never got this big at, because I don't know what I'm going to do with all of it.
Look, it's just
way too. Oh, look who it is! Because it's way too goddamn big for a shelf. Here, I'll actually go grab it quick while you're giving Runner some shit.
Yeah, Runner. Nice that you show up at the end, and don't even try to click the link in the chat. We're closing it down here in a minute. We ain't got time to stay for another 20 hours. No, I'll be honest with you. Christmas broke me. Christmas broke me this year, and I was not able to buy a lot of movies at all. But I do get some Christmas ones I gotta watch, and I will be getting some new ones sooner or later.
Well, what's funny is like the Hellraiser one and this one were ones I actually got or paid for a long time ago. I just finally got. Well, because they were imported.
Yeah.
So it comes in this big box.
That is a big box.
I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, you get this thing. It's this big ass fucking book.
That's awesome.
It is big.
That's awesome.
It's got all this shit inside. I'm not going to take it all out, guy.
Yeah. You can do that after you go through it.
Yeah, no, when I bring it on the show, I'll get it all out. But I mean, really, I'm trying to think of why there's a reason this thing is so goddamn big. So I don't even think it's this big in the movie. All right? Like, I don't think it's this big. Maybe
I don't think the book is that long,
I don't think it's this big.
wise.
Yeah. Because he, steals it and shit.
Yeah.
So, I think it's big enough, or it's only small enough that he can get it in his backpack, I think. There's no way you're getting this in a backpack. This is fucking big.
Yeah.
It's not even really a book. Right, because it just opens up, and then you got all the shit inside.
Yeah, all the stuff inside of it, yeah.
Like, it's stacked kind of like the
Do they even give you the book?
No.
Like the actual Neverending Story book?
Well, no, it doesn't have the book in here, but I think it has a bunch of production notes and shit. So, yeah, it would be kind of cool if they had the book, but no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it has both versions of the film. It's like 5 discs all together. It has a soundtrack, although I have the soundtrack. So.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that Dune set I got, only bigger. Yeah, it's like, I thought the Dune one was already obnoxiously big. And that's the thing, is it doesn't really necessarily need to be bigger than that version, because the biggest thing in here is the same size as the reason that Dune one is that size. So all the excess is really just excess.
Yeah. No.
So basically from the outside of this area in here, it's just space, just dead space.
Jeez.
just all for show.
Where you go
It's
to find
huge.
shelf space, man. It's huge.
I'm never gonna fit this on no fucking shelf.
We need Rookie on here.
It's gonna
like,
go on top of a shelf at some point. That's about it. Which is funny because I said I've never seen a book this big, aside from like, you know, if anybody goes to church, you know, they always have that big ass Bible.
Yeah.
Or
Right
at the
up in the
library
center.
where they have that big ass fucking dictionary.
Oh yeah. When you walk in and it's right there.
And then speaking of things that I ordered a long time ago and finally got and forgot all about, if that wasn't enough, around the same time, I got this fucking beast in the mail.
Oh goodness, your Superman.
Now, this
thing?
is a fucking book.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, so this is that History of Superman book that James Gunn advertised. Oh shit, almost. Okay, I didn't rip it. Okay, so yeah, you got to open it up like this, and then inside is the book encased in this really hardcover fucking cardboard thingy, like our movies usually are. And the book's inside there, and the book's this big.
Dang.
It's fucking huge. Like, this thing weighs like a ton.
Goodness.
And this thing now, the price has gone up a bit, but yeah. Like now, I think
That
it's like
must be what my nephew ordered.
Is it?
They were telling me my brother was like, he spent $100 on this big Superman book. I'm like, so $100 on a Superman book? What is that? That's what it was
$100 originally. Now it's like 150, 170 depending, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he pre-ordered it like right before Christmas or something because they were telling me the other day.
Oh, I ordered it almost a year ago, but yeah.
Or yeah, who knows how long? Maybe he did it a year ago because he said he just got it.
Well, yeah, it just come out. Like I just got it not that long ago, like just before Christmas, I think. Yeah.
My brother was telling me that's what he was. He just got the Superman book that he paid $100 for.
I'm kind of bummed because it kept getting delayed, and I thought, oh, they're delaying it because they're going to probably put some Superman Returns shit in it, or I mean, Superman Legacy.
Yeah,
there isn't. So I'm kind of bummed about that. At least if there is, I missed it. But yeah, so I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like,
what?
Because it would have made sense if they were saving it for that, you know, and then wait till the trailer comes out, then drop the book. So at least, you know. But at that point, it's like they didn't put anything in there that I could tell unless I missed it. So, but stuff isn't in like any specific order. But I mean, they have the whole entire original Reign of the Superman thing in there. Nice. That was when he was a bad guy. They have a bunch of comics and comic strips in there, all sorts of shit.
Nice.
Just tons and tons and tons of stuff of the history of Superman. So
is it is it the history or like the comics of themselves?
Both, everything, all of Superman, everything about Superman. So just about every nook and cranny from television, movies, comics, everything.
And now I kind of want this.
It even has like a copy of the receipt that Siegel and Schuster got.
Oh, nice.
When they sold Superman and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like it has just all sorts of shit in there. Just, I mean, I love these kind of books. I've never had one this big though.
Yeah. Now I kind of want to get that. I have to ask my nephew if I can see it. I don't know if I've actually been to the real Daily Planet.
Well, don't they have the thing nearby you there? Yeah, I was going to say in Cleveland, yeah. Yeah,
the Metropolis, Illinois is where they do the Superman celebration every year.
But they have the thing in Ohio, though. That's the museum or whatever, isn't it? Or
No, the museum's in Metropolis, Illinois.
Well, what the hell is it in Ohio then? Because I know there's something there. What is it?
I know I'm not sure, but there was a comic book convention held inside of the building that the Daily Planet is based on. It's called the Halley Building. It's in Cleveland, Ohio.
Because isn't that where one of them grew up?
Yeah, because they grew up in they lived in
Okay, so
Cleveland.
It's wherever their home is. I think there's a
they saw the building across from the street the place they lived in, and they modeled the Daily Planet off of that building. So
there's probably something in the book about it. Who knows?
Yeah, I've been in that building. I was at a comic convention there. I met Sam Witwer, who just did Smallville. I met Supergirl. What's her name from the original movie? What is her name? From Supergirl, I can't think of her name.
Melissa Benoist or the other one?
No,
Helen
from the
Slater.
movie. Helen Slater. I met Helen Slater. I met Ray Park. I met. I took a picture with my Michael Rosenbaum. I met Michael Rosenbaum. I took a picture with him. So he just made me feel good too, because like I was like nervous because like, oh, fat guy coming in. He goes, oh, you're not that fat. Come here. And I was like, oh, that made me feel good. So he's like, come here. He put his arm around me, and I got a picture with him. So that was fun. Yeah, that was a good day. It was fun being there because like Smallville just like I think come off of the 8th season or whatever, and they held the convention up there, and it was right before maybe Superman Return was around at that time. I don't remember. Yeah. But yeah, I went there. It was fun. They hang out in the building. Oh, and that's where also what's his name from Edward James Olmos cut in line and asked. That was fun because the dude in front of me was hilarious because like I was standing in line waiting for my picture to be printed for Michael Rosenbaum. And here comes Edward James Olmos. He goes, "Excuse me, young man." He looks at me. "Excuse me, young man." And he looks at the guy. He goes, the guy who's standing in front of me goes, "Do you know where the bathroom is, sir?" And he's like, "Oh yeah,
I think you told me this."
Yeah, I told you this. And he's like, "Oh, thank you." And he left. And the guy looked at me and he goes, "That was awesome." it's like the biggest nerd thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, but like I don't know if you can get it for under 150. It's definitely the kind of book I'd recommend for Superman fans, or if you're looking for something to get somebody who's a Superman fan and make a perfect gift.
Me,
you know,
I'm a
there
Superman
you go.
fan.
Yeah.
Have been my whole life. It's hard being a Superman fan because I get so tired of people. I get so tired of people sometimes. If you're a Batman fan, yeah, you got everything you want in the fucking world. So what's the difference between Batman? Yeah, what's the difference of Batman kicking the shit out of everybody and having contingency plans to beat all the superheroes and Superman always winning? What's the difference, people? What's the difference?
That was totally different place I thought you were going with that. I thought you were going to say, like, he's always getting all the love and always getting all the cool shit.
Well, he is getting all the love and all the cool shit. But they're always saying, like, Superman's too powerful. He can do this. It's like, well, Batman literally can beat the entire Justice League. And he's not too powerful. It pisses me off. I'm sorry. It pisses me off sometimes. And yeah. Anyways.
All right. Yeah, I just thought I'd show that off. Knowing you're a Superman fan, plus it just had something to compare it to because I thought it was funny. It was like, I never seen a book that goddamn big outside of like those Bibles or you know, the dictionaries, and then all of a sudden in a week I get both that and the book. So, yeah.
That'd have been a good mail day. All right, well let's close down. We managed to stretch this out to almost 3 hours again. Just
damn near. But hey, considering what we got in there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, 10 movies. You did good. But I appreciate you, Tom. Thank you for hanging with me. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for hanging with us. I appreciate you guys. Everybody at home watching, hanging with us. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button to me, Tom, Rookie, if you feel like it. But as always, we'll see you next week. You don't have to stay here, but you can't go home.
How you doing? Bitches leave.